What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's good, bro?
Man, we vibed out. You know how we always do, man. Shoot, feeling actually really good. If I recollect right. How you living though, man? Like the Carhartt, man. You looking clean over there.
I told you. Copped a bunch of Carhartt gear.
Man, I see how you coming this year, man. You coming correct, baby. That's how it's supposed to be, man. It's a good day though. It's a real good day.
Yeah, excellent day. Victory Monday.
Absolutely. 2 in a row. This could be the sign of something sweet for us, man. Yeah. I hope so. But I will say this, man. I was a little bit upset, and this is completely off topic from the Steelers. You remember, I think it was Thursday's show or Friday morning, whenever we recorded last. I was talking about how I was going to go to the Pirates game on Sunday. It was supposed to thunder and lightning all day, so we weren't going to go.
Right.
So, of course, we don't get tickets. And it was perfect weather yesterday. So I was a little bit upset about that, man.
What time is the game?
It was like 1:30.
Yeah, that was the window. It really didn't rain much.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just thought about that. I was like, man, we're supposed to go hit it up. But it is what it is, man.
Yeah, they played the game?
I think they did, actually, bro. We ended up going,
I didn't know if there's any lightning.
Bro, we ended up going back to school shopping. So it all worked out. But, yeah, man, we didn't even go to the game. I was a little upset about that.
Yeah, I guess that's a bummer. You would have won. It was muggy a little bit.
I don't care about the mugginess. Okay. I just didn't want to get rained on. And more importantly, lightning, being in the vicinity of lightning. That was like, I'm not getting struck for the Pirates. If I get struck for the Pirates, I'm going to be so pissed with myself in the grave. I was like, I can't go out like that. So, yeah.
That's a bummer, then.
It is, man. But other than that, there was a vibe, man. Got a chance to, check out my kids' schools. They're new teachers this year, man, because they start up on Wednesday. So, that's what we had to push the time back to as well, an hour. Shout out to the 5 o'clock start and everybody that's here with us. But, yeah, man. So, other than that, man, it's been a vibe, though.
Only thing that means, though, is football season's getting closer as well.
You better believe it, man. I'm loving it. High school football starting up. I know they got games coming up this Friday. College football starting up as well. Come on now, man. We are, less than a week, 10 days away from the backyard brawl as well, man. So, I'm getting excited about that. Got the JMU home opener. I'll be on the call for it on that weekend as well. So it's a vibe right now. We're in a good space, baby. We're in a really good space. And I want to say this too, man, before we get to the shout outs for everybody that is tuning in and stuff like that, I did want to give a big time salute to everybody that's been rocking with some of the, more, what do we call those type of videos where it's not like sports content, more of the lifestyle type content. Yeah. So put up 2 of the videos from the vacation, right? Got 3 visits. Put up 2 for the public. The third one's with the upper room. For whenever they want to check that out, let them check that out. Give them a little exclusivity.
You've been cooking then, huh?
Yeah, I've been, because I told you, I got the itch back. But this is why it's important for me to like really just take time off during that off season. So it was less content in off season. It was less, let's pump it out. So now that it's time, I'm like, I'm ready to go. I got film session cooked up, ready to drop as well, because I got to talk about my man Robert Spillane.
Ooh,
yeah, man.
Ooh, Spillane.
He heart over mind. You know what I'm saying? Heart over brain. So it was in my heart last night, and I had to go look at the tape, and I was like, I like what I saw a lot. But I don't like some of the narratives that continue to be spread about him and his coverage and stuff like that. So, I was like, let me make sure I go ahead and chop up something real nice just to show what I'm referring to when I come up here and talk about him. So that'll be dropping 2 in a day or so. But yeah, man, I'm in that zone right now, man. We in a good space, baby. You know what I'm saying? We vibed out. We shouted out the new homie Dom as well, man. People was rocking with him. So it's a good space we in right now, man. So I like it.
Yeah, big shout out to everyone that's supporting us.
You better believe it, man. Y'all keep rocking with us. We're going to keep rocking with y'all. So without further ado, let us know where you are tuning in from. Give us those locations so that we can give those big boy shout outs, and we'll start the show off like we always do, baby.
Okay, we got Damon Brown.
Shout out to Damon as well, man. Is he shouting out Trina Still Diva? He's consistently, that's his homie right there. I respect him.
He didn't on this one.
Oh, man.
478, making Georgia in the building.
All right. Think about this, Deke. I've been around this podcast back when you was calling that Macan. Now you just a Macon dude. I hear you, man. Let me find out. Deke nigga got cultured over here.
Mm-hmm. Julian Davis. Cheers from Austria/Europe.
I just realized I ain't have my chapstick, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I'm not going to do no shit with no dry lips. I can't do that.
Yeah, take care of business. Gus Escobar checking in from Toronto, Canada.
Shout out to Gus Escobar. When do he know Pablo?
Zick Shazier, tuning in from the 818, Thousand Oaks.
All right, let me hop in this name for a little bit, man. All right, I got my man my woman Rashana Hall, the 601, the SIP, a.k.a. Mississippi. You better believe that. 2 S's, cricket letter I. I got y'all. All right, you got Yul Young, Talking about he from Pittsburgh, PA. Love that. And the homie David Dupree, a.k.a. DD Smalls from Gainesville, Florida. Big time salute with him. Night Rider 16, the 318 Louisiana, and Lifted Ones. We got to stay lifted. Yes, indeed. Tuning in from the 916, Sacktown. And then I'm going to finish over here with my man DJ The Money because he's tuning in from the 304, West Virginia. Prayers for my fam. Definitely prayers for your fam, but more importantly, prayers for the Mountaineers because we know we got about 10 days, baby. 10 days and it's going down. Backyard brawl. Can't wait for that to happen. So, yeah, man. It's going to be a good one, though. Definitely going to be a good one, baby.
I would say a few more here. 513 Cincinnati. That's JMC.
Oh, okay. Shout out to JMC.
We got Dean Strevel. 434
bad.
Charlottesville, Virginia.
Shout out to Charlottesville as well, man. I like that. I like a little Charlottesville.
Rod Young, Montreal, Canada, in the house.
Okay,
514, home of GSP.
Yes, indeed. Georgia St. Pierre, one of the all-time greats, UFC. And shout out to the UFC, bro. We had a surprise knockout.
Heard about it.
Man, unreal fight. Unreal. Think about the equivalent of like a last-second Hail Mary, like, walk-off. And you'd been getting whooped the whole thing. Like, it was that type of
Usman
thing.
was winning the whole time.
It wasn't. He was dominating, bro. Like they thought his corner was gonna pull, like throw the towel, like they was gonna quit. Like it looked like that. Then with the minute left, the head kick of all head kicks, and you're just like, bro, what? Yeah, it was sick. I loved it though. But that's the part of UFC that I love, like how it could just in a drop of. You're like, bro, what did? How? So, just shook up the whole division. I love it, man.
You feel any different about either Usman? I don't even know. Who was he fighting against?
He was fighting a guy named Leon Edwards.
It was just one of those things,
No, because like Leon is really good, but Leon has never been able to, go over the hump. And this is the rematch. Usman had beat him early on in their career. But it's one of those things, yeah, Leon Edwards could win. But when you're watching them fight that night, Usman was on. But also, Leon did have some success. He was the first one to ever take Usman down in his UFC career. So it was like, okay, you saw that early on, like maybe. But then it went back to, this is Usman. Usman, this is what he does. And it looked like that's what Usman does. He was about to tie the record for longest winning streak with Anderson Silva. Yeah, but instead, 60 seconds left, gets a nice little heck. And the people were upset. They're like, yo, why was he still fighting? Why didn't he, take his foot off the gas and just kind of coach? You see, some of the people that dance around the ring for, the last 30 seconds or whatever.
Oh, wow.
They were like, yo, why you ain't just do that? But instead, he's, still, in it. And that's what you love about him because he's going for the finish. But, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, man.
Wow.
Nah, but shout out to Leon Edwards, though, man. He didn't cause the whole, everything is on the table now, man. Whether you're talking, I know they want to do the rematch. Dana White said he wanted to do the rematch in January. But we'll see because Usman was, out. Still, yeah, it was one of them ones, the serious. Kind of when Derek Lewis went to sleep. And it was that's not a play. When that's a real one, it was like that. So we over here doing the math. Can it be in January? Because if not, man, we got a lot. It's a lot of names on the table, where he can go with this thing, man. So it's going to be exciting to follow, though.
I'll hit up some of these super chats.
Let's do it.
I need to read this one, though. This is from Crystal. I got her name right this time.
Shout out to Crystal. Let's go.
Crystal Pravat.
Yes, indeed.
Straight up, Najee, Kenny, and Mitch need to see their lawyers about having a will. The offensive line is Pop Warner. I just had to read that. That was a really funny comment.
That is pretty dang funny. I do like that, man.
Come on here. What up, fellas? Tomlin called out Kendrick today.
I did not hear exactly what he said. I've just seen Kendrick's response.
Right. So Kendrick did the interview, the little press conference in the locker room.
He did the opposite of the Devin Bush. If you think about it.
Yeah, very self-aware.
The exact
Kendrick
opposite
Green is
of Devin
very
Bush.
self-aware of where he's standing in this left guard competition right now.
For me personally, he was so real and transparent. Yeah. I'm like, Kendrick, bro, you ain't got to say all that, bro. I know these people want to hear that, but hey, Kendrick, bump all that, Kendrick. You better take some pride in you. Don't you be just admitting all that to them folk. That's just me. But
almost made me feel bad in a way because he was very nice, smiling.
Did. Oh my God,
I'm like, damn, dude.
I felt terrible, bro.
Damn.
I felt terrible watching
all the Kendrick Green jokes and stuff.
I was like, I don't want to talk about it. But I was like,
doesn't feel good anymore.
I'm over here let me call up Wolf. Let me call up some O-line guys. We're going to work on Kendrick, bro. We got to get him right because I like this kid all of a sudden, man. Yeah. Not that I didn't like him. It was just it was wholesome. And it, like you said, it was such the opposite of how 5'5" is in some of these scenarios where you're just like, bro, you say you ain't got nothing to prove. You say you good. You say you could be in the league. It's like, this dude right here, though, you hear how he speaks. He's like, nah, man.
Have you done enough to win the left guard competition? He said no.
He's like, not at all. I got a lot more to do. I was like, oh, He's like, yeah, man, Arden Key. He was having his way with me. I said, oh my God. I said, yeah, that's a self-aware man. But every player goes through that, and I will be the first to say it, man. It's some guys you come up against, you're just like, bro, I had zero answer for this guy today. He wore me out from start to finish. It happens, man. It happens.
So I guess the call out was just Tomlin putting him up on the board, because that's what Kendrick Green said. He said, yeah, Tomlin put the whole offensive line up there into the film study and was calling me out a lot.
Yeah, well, honestly, man, that is the one of the things that, and obviously when TG has come on the show, Terrence Garvin, he's talked about this as well. Coach Tomlin is super transparent. He's super honest. And even in some certain situations where you might think, hey, man, coach, you're a little harsh on me, you at least respect the fact that he's letting you know where you stand. It's nothing worse you sitting in a meeting and that coach is telling you one thing, but when you're out there on that field, it's not adding up. And you're like, coach, man, what is this? You know, or they say you're fine and then it's a roster move made and you're like, bro, I thought I was good. So in that capacity, man, it is good for Coach Tomlin to continue that. And it's good to hear that he still continues to operate like that.
Come on here again. Says Mitch was giving us shades of Houdini, Big Ben.
Mm-hmm. Ain't that the truth?
Those
man.
were insane escapes, especially the second one.
Dude, what?
Where he threw an absolute dot.
Come on. You saw it.
And we saw who's in mid-season form, apparently.
Yeah, you got to chill.
No, it's a good compliment because he made some really nice catches.
No, he definitely did. He was balling. He was balling out there.
If he was going to drop one, as weird as it is to say, that was the one to drop because it was a weird off-schedule play. There were a couple guys around.
We could justify it.
You could justify it a little bit. I would have liked to see it caught because Mitch made a hell of a play.
Bro, think about this.
And it was a good throw.
Think about this. If he catches that, man, low-key, Deontay's in a foot race. Like, that's where he was at with that thing, and who knows how that thing turns out. But for me, man, I was really enjoying that part with Mitch, man, on that throw, and then obviously the Claypool throw, just in the sense of, man, in the midst of all the hostility, in the midst of the O-line at that point in time in the game, particularly still getting, because that was the early portion. Those first two drives, we hadn't figured out anything about how to combat that. It just looked like, kind of like what we talked about, Henry was like, yo, it could be one of them things where that D-line takes advantage of us, and it's hard to evaluate any of these quarterbacks. I thought that for Mitch, though, his adjustment was taking those shots downfield, because that at least gave the offense a chance to say, you know what, if you're going to come fast like that, man, we got to answer right now. And that was something that I did like with Mitch, and I thought that he stood tall in there, man, having to be elusive, but more importantly, protecting that ball. That first one that he had to evade, I think was Josh Allen. Dude, I still don't know how he got out of that. I thought he had him wrapped up, and he getting that ball, and then he, obviously rolls out and throws it up to the Deontay. But I thought that was good to see from Mitch, because that's something that we haven't talked a lot about in terms of his athletic ability, but his ability to escape and just overall his toughness was on display.
Yeah, I thought Mitch played fine.
Mm-hmm.
I know we'll get into it a
without
little bit more as we go. We got Nick Jolliffe.
Shout out to Jolliffe.
It says, bought my tickets to first Steeler game yesterday.
Let's go.
At home versus Baltimore in early December.
I like
Coming
that.
from Illinois, the 815. Bucket list item for sure.
Let's go, man. That's a dope game to go to, man. Anytime you talking Ravens, December. Oh, yeah, man. That's going to be one. That's going to be a fun one for you.
Yeah, hopefully that gets bumped to either the 4 o'clock or the Sunday night time slot.
I know. That'll be a vibe.
Adrian Bustamante. He's giving us some support.
All right. Shout out to Adrian.
Fish Momentum. Says, Ayo, guys. Salute Moats and Deke.
Hey, man, salute you back. Let's ride.
He's got a little run here.
Here he is.
Next one he says, Ambition Live, September 30th at Rivers Casino. Pull up, guys.
All right.
Momentum Mondays, hashtag my story, hashtag be prepared. Kenny Pickett starting week 1, question mark.
All right.
Are we going to talk about that at all?
I mean, if you want to.
Was that on the docket?
I mean, if you want to. I figured it was going to come up anyways.
Is that a topic people are discussing these days?
I figured that might come up at some point in time in today's show. It's a possibility.
Official Momentum's last one says, Deke has integrity. Screw the cheaters. Hashtag Ultimate Team.
Don't tell me you took another L. What happened, bro? You need to talk about it?
Last couple times I've been on, it's been tough, man.
Oh, man.
I'll be better. I'll be better.
Okay. It's not user error, right?
It's... What was that AB line to Ben?
Which one? He had a lot of AB ones. Is it the Wi-Fi lit?
A little of me, a lot of you.
You ain't invite. It's a little of you, a lot of me.
No, I thought he said.
I think he said no. He did.
Because he was taking the blame
that's where they
off
went
himself.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually perfect. That describes me and Madden right now. A little of me.
A lot of Madden though. Gospel.
I wouldn't say Madden because the game is very, very good. I think. Okay. Very, very good for the most part. It's the people I'm going up against.
Don't you hate to see it? You hate to see it.
These evil players out here. Andrew Shamery Master Moats, please give us hope that our offensive line doesn't get our quarterbacks killed, thus giving us all heart attacks every week.
No, we're going to talk about this O-line today, man. Got to talk about them dudes. Whew. Yeah, that was one of them ones. That was one of those ones.
Adrian Bustamante. On third down with 7 minutes to go, Mason made a bad read, hitting Durant instead of a wide-open Connor Hayward.
Yeah, I saw it. It was on the crossing routes. To me, they were playing cover 3. It was one of those ones where you're guessing. You're either going to guess right or you're going to guess wrong. But the only difference was the hook defender that was dropping towards Mateo's side. He just kept his feet, whereas the hook defender that was dropping towards Connor's side ends up tripping at the top of his break. But in the heat of that play like that, I don't know how fast you're seeing that when both of those guys are crossing at the same time. One coming from the right, one coming from the left. That's the only thing. But I know exactly the play you're talking about, though.
Fish momentum. Moats, you check your inbox?
I have not lately. No. I told you, man, I'm on grind mode right now. So I will get to that one of these days, but not right now because, like I said, it's content time, baby. We got to keep the content rolling.
Grant Patterson. People forget how good Devin was his rookie year. Third in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting, ahead of guys like Devin White, Rashawn Gary, and Drew Lock. Why'd he throw Drew Lock in there? Yeah, I guess he didn't have that bad of a rookie year, but didn't he only play like 5 or 6 weeks? It was like the end of the season.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
Devin White, though, I mean, that means something, being ahead of him.
Yeah,
Rashawn Gary as well.
But that was regular season because Devin White, he took off in the postseason when they won the Super Bowl run.
Right. Fish momentum. Well, that was even his second year anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I thought both of them coming out the first year. Yeah, both of them coming out the first year. No. Devin White's first year. No, you're right. That was the COVID year. Yeah, they both first year was 18. Yeah.
So in 2019.
Because that was the year when Ben got hurt.
I don't remember what Devin White was doing down with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I thought he was good.
He definitely
I thought he was a promising young rookie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Devin Bush was higher ranked than Devin White coming out of the rookie year.
Interesting, man.
Things have changed. Fish momentum. Who will get cut?
Who you got, Deke?
Oh, my God.
I ain't dropping it.
What, a name or two?
I'm about to say.
Is there like 1 or 2 people just to put on blast right now?
I'm about to say, I that's not my energy. But I ain't know if that's
who's going to get cut. I mean, a lot of people will. We got to get this roster down to 53.
Oh, good. That's a great answer right there. That we'll just leave it at that.
I mean, I'm trying to think about something. Is there someone in your mind?
No, I don't think of specifics like that. I think everybody has a chance.
Who are we blasting right now?
I don't know. I leave it alone. That's why I just be checking. You know what I mean?
The 2 guys on the biggest hot seat are Devin Bush and Kendrick Green, but I don't necessarily think they're getting cut.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So who else are we talking about?
I mean, like I said, it's a roster of 85 players right now. So I'm sure if we went through the depth chart, we could find people. But we're not doing that because we like to keep it on a more positive tick, whereas that's a little bit more of the negative side. Now, once the cuts have happened, we could react to them. But I don't like to just come in here and be like, imagine if I go to Walmart and be like, yo, I think that person right there going to lose their job. Oh, yeah, they definitely finna lose their job. Oh, and that person over there, they're going to lose their job. I just don't like that energy. So that's why, for me, I always avoid that question.
I mean, I think some of the third and fourth string receivers actually played good. But I don't think they're going to – right, I just don't think they're going to make the team because of that. Same thing with the corners, too. Mm-hmm. Like Patel and just some of these guys that are getting in late in the game.
Chris Steele, he's another one.
I don't think they're going to make the team just because we got a lot of guys ahead of them.
I just say – we don't know if they'll make the active, but they're still in position to make the team because you obviously have the extended practice squad rosters as well. So that's the part for me where I look at certain players like a Tyler Vaughns and I say, okay, is he an active 53 guy? Maybe not, but I definitely think he's making an extremely strong case to be on the practice squad. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. Who will get cut? A lot of players will.
All right, let's see. I got a couple upper rooms over here. Then after that, we'll be back to you for Let's Go UW. Sound good?
Yep.
All right, we got Kurt Vaughn. Hey, what up, Kurt Vaughn? Hey, and welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And then we got the man Raymond. I'm going to go with Raymond Coleman. Welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you know the homie Black Hillbilly 1969. You know what I'm talking about? Not 1967, not 1968. We talking 1969 because I know Deke like that number. He freaky like that. But either way, Black Hillbilly 1969. Welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. And no, I greatly appreciate each and every one of y'all joining this family, man. Y'all support definitely means a lot to us, man. So we definitely appreciate y'all, man. And since y'all are upper room members, there are 2 videos that are currently up for the vacation. But there's a 3rd video for the upper room members. If you go to the community page, you will see it. Make sure you check that thing out as well, man. A little early exclusive access for y'all because I like y'all. All right. Now we back to you, my dog.
Let's go, UW. So much for the offensive line not being able to be worse. Should have took a lineman in the first.
Yeah, that is a thing that we keep coming back to. Can't be any worse. Now, I will...
this one can't be.
Yeah, but I'll start by saying this, man.
It can't be.
We'll start by saying this, though. We talked about this on Wednesday's show. We said that Jaguars defensive line is really good. They're really deep as well. And this would be a legitimate test for our offensive line. We said that the offensive line could come out there and show us that they're really good if they, hold up against this group, or we know we need a lot more work. And it just so happens that they need a lot more work. But let's be real about it. If you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, Josh Allen should be kicking Dan Moore's butt. If he's not, that would be like us looking at TJ Watt playing against a rookie and saying, hey, man, you can't cook this fourth rounder that's a rookie? Like, what's wrong with you? When you talk about a Trevon Walker, when you talk about an Arden Key, you talk about those type of players, those are all high pedigree draft picks. Those are guys that the Jags are banking on leading that unit down there. So if they weren't out here having some success, if you're Jacksonville, you're looking at them dudes sideways. Now, for us, we knew that, hey, man, we have a revamped offensive line. This is going to be the first time where all five will be in stadium together and things like that. But even still, we don't know, or I feel like prior to this game, we didn't know 100% who was going to be in that starting left guard spot. I think that kind of got cleared up, got cleared up right away after about 2 series. It was clear. It was like, all right, we got the answer now. So other than that, though, I do think that this offensive line, man, they're going to take a little bit longer. It's one of those things where offensive line, it can be difficult to play at times, and we know that they're still a very young group. But we also said that they're returning 3 out of the 5 starters from a year ago. And depending on, how you count Kendrick Green and Kevin Dotson, 4 of those starting 5 offensive linemen are out there, So in that context, it still necessarily isn't a big revamp. We just spent nice on Chooks, and then we obviously brought in James Daniels, who definitely struggled as well. But I will also say with all 5 of those guys, or 6, including Kendrick Green, the crazy part is this, bro. Watching them, again on tape, each of them had plays and had moments where it looked good.
Yeah, the first play, for Green, I was like, oh, wow, absolutely. He's holding his own.
And then each of them had plays where it looked horrendous. And that's my only thing, and I hate to say it, but this is the same thing from a year ago when we said popcorn. We say, yo, it's like popcorn. It's not all 5 of them playing bad every snap. It's not the same player playing bad every snap. First, okay, it's Chooks. Then it's James Daniels. Then it's Mason Cole. Then it's Kendrick Green. Then it's Kevin Dotson. Then it's Dan Moore. It's like each of them take turns having a bad play or two, and it just so happens that when they have that bad play, it's like, oh, sometimes we had a chance for it to be a good
play too.
Absolutely. So that's some of the stuff that's happening right now, and to me, a lot of that still reflects back to the youth part and the consistency of playing at the NFL level, and also a reminder that it does not matter what you did last year. And this is more importantly directed to Dan Moore and Kendrick Green in a sense. Who cares how many games you started last year? It doesn't matter. Each season is a brand new season. So you can't come in here thinking, well, I blocked Myles Garrett last year. I blocked this guy last year. I'll be just fine this year, because that's not how the NFL works. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. And that's why I'm always one of those people that's like, yo, I want to see it. I want to see if you gotten better. I want to see you out there practicing, because you can't take certain things for granted. And I thought that with this O-line, it just showed that I do think at times it has been taken for granted that because we spent money on that unit, that it's just going to miraculously be better. And it's like, nah, they still got to go out there and execute every single snap. And when they don't at that particular position, it shows. And it just so happened that it showed in a major way on Saturday night.
Yeah. I just feel like if we bring in Mason Cole, Daniels, the extra year for Dan Moore, having Dotson in over Kendrick Green, like it can't be. It can't be. Maybe this is the last time I will say this. If it somehow does become worse, I will eat my words and never talk about a unit can't be worse from last year because of all this other stuff. But I won't believe it.
Well, I'll say this. So let's break down the context, though, right? Chooks. Last year with Chooks, we said that, man, okay, he was really good in pass protection. We said not a lot of movement in the run game. So when you watched him on Saturday, I thought that he had some good pass reps. Was a chance for us to have a nice run if he makes his block, but he doesn't. He misses his block. The linebacker's able to shoot the gap, make the tackle. Was on a toss play to, I want to say, right sideline watching the game. It's like stuff like that where you're like, well, dang, man. But are we surprised by that? No. That's what he struggled with before. Kendrick Green, what do we say about him? Great effort, fast, but he's small. Well, what exactly were we looking at on Saturday at times? He looked little again, right? Still, no surprise. Dan Moore. Man, when he was going against Myles Garrett, we said, woo, Myles is winning. The difference is what? Ben is getting rid of that ball now. Well, it just so happened that we weren't getting rid of the ball in 2 seconds. We were actually trying to have some developing routes because it was early in the game before we realized that the offensive line was going to struggle like that. So Dan gets exposed early. But that's not new. We've seen him get beat with that speed rush off the edge. We've seen that before. So once again, it's like, are we really surprised? James Daniels struggled early on in the season in Chicago. Late six game round, like game 6, 7, 8. That's when he started to pick it up, played a lot better. But he's still a very young player. I think he's 24 years old. Mason Cole at times looked small in Minnesota. Slightly bigger than Kendrick, but at times he looked like he got bullied at times. But you could still see enough of the positive plays. That's why you say, okay, we could pay this. We've seen enough of the positive plays that you say, hey, man, I know this is in there, but we've seen a lot more of this, so we're going to bank that we're going to get more of this. Well, they're still getting up to speed as well. So that's the other part that we got to remember. During OTAs and minicamp, they don't get the same amount of reps or the quality reps of like these quarterbacks, these receivers, these running backs, these linebackers, right? Because they can't play physical ball. So through all OTAs and minicamp where you're still doing 7-on-7, coverage, receivers, quarterback, you're getting reps, right? What the O-line doing? Man, they over there talking and they walking through steps. Hey, we're punch. All right, get back. Boom, boom, punch. And that's cool. But it's different when you're actually playing football. So to me, I just look at this as a part of that development. It's a part of their timeline. And also we have to remember that Jaguars team, that's their 3rd preseason game. So they're pretty much tuned up. They're ready for the regular season. That was our 2nd preseason game.
Yeah, they might sit.
It's a little different
next week.
Absolutely. So for us, that's the other context that I was like, when I'm watching the game, I'm like, okay, I understand it's looking like this. I understand we feel like this, but that also matters in the preseason. And then the last thing I would say is, for Matt Canada, and I understand that with Matt Canada, it's the preseason. I thought that he made the adjustment when Kenny came in, but that was after 2.5 series from Mitch.
3, yeah.
My thing is, I would just want to know, were you doing that just because it was the 2-minute element of it, or is that something that we'll be able to turn to early in games if the O-line is struggling? Because when the O-line struggles, the way you combat that is quick game and hurry up. And that's what they did when Kenny came in. They moved the pocket the first play with the rollout to the left. After that, they went quick game screen to the right. You had they ended up penalty and then punting. But then that next drive, they went to the 2-minute. You hit Deontay on the slant. He almost splits it, pat back to back. And now before you know it, you got something rolling. But that rush couldn't get to him. That rush couldn't affect him because of that. And even when they tried to say, okay, well, you're going tempo, well, blitz, that's when you hit pat. So once again, it was just like, man, okay, Matt Canada, if that's in your wheelhouse, well, let's introduce that a little bit more. And let's introduce that a little bit sooner when you see this O-line struggling the way that it is. They also brought in bigger personnel groupings. So they would have 2 tight ends on Dan Moore's side to give him a little bit more protection. That was something that they didn't do for Mitch. And it was something that they started to do at the end of the 3rd quarter for Mason. They didn't do it when he first came in, but towards like 2-minute mark and then going into the 4th where he has like the nice drives and stuff like that, that's when he started to take that approach. So for me, I'm just like, okay, well, maybe this is a Matt Canada thing where, you know, he's getting up to speed in terms of how quickly he needs to identify something to make an adjustment. But to me, in my perspective, I just don't agree with, if the O-line is struggling like that on that opening series, why are you coming back and still trying to have these guys single protection dropping straight back? If you saw how Dan Moore got beat on that first play, you saw how Kendrick Green looked, you know already, bro, we can't come back to that right now. Maybe we'll try it in a series or 2, but we can't do it right now. And to me, it was just kind of like, almost like the I don't believe it on that first series. Oh, it ain't that bad. We could do it again. And then we saw what it looked like that second series. So that's the part for me where I would look at Matt Canada and just say, why are you waiting? Like, if that's what you're capable of, don't wait 3-4 series in here to do that. Go ahead and do it now, because the difference too in the regular season is our defense, we were able to get field goals right there. But we know, man, it's not always going to work out like that. Some of those drives are going to be touchdowns. And now if we're sitting here down 14, it's a totally different conversation.
We got lucky with Cam Sutton.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
Dropping it.
So that's my thing. It's like, we know when we're putting all this into the framework of how we win, these are some of the things where you're like, man, it doesn't seem significant, but that is significant, because we can't always bank on field goals in that red zone. We can always bank on a drop or an overthrow. Like, that's the reality of it in terms of how we're going to have to win this year at times.
Yeah. So that actually plays into my thought a little bit of there's no way this line could be worse. Just because the thought of, hey, we had Kendrick Green at center all last year. If we just bring in Mason Cole, that's an upgrade.
I would agree.
Say James Daniel at this point in his career, upgrade over Trey
I would
Turner.
agree with that as well, yes.
Dawson healthy at left guard. You're hoping Dan Moore takes that step. But I like your whole point of just you have to execute. It's not a given that all that stuff's going to happen. And also Chooks getting this contract, he's supposed to be in the prime of his career too. He should only be getting better. Even though he has limitations, worst case, that's a wash. Chooks should be at least what he was last year, right?
Absolutely.
You can't be getting worse. So that's why I think the O-line just should be better.
Yeah. And
yesterday didn't look good, but I liked all the stuff you brought up. And that it's early. It's preseason. You got to start gelling.
The context is real. Like, I know our initial emotions in that moment is, man, let's freak out, bro. This is terrible. And I know even when you think about it 2 days later, you're like, bro, we sucked. But it's certain things when you do go back and watch it on tape, you're like, no, this can work, but this is how we have to do it. I've already seen, okay, y'all had an answer. That O-line, we kept the same O-line in there until the start of the third quarter. And then we took off James Daniels and Chooks. Then they left Dan Moore and Kevin Dotson in there for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they did, because I thought that the way Dan had played earlier, he needed to be out there, because just as a veteran, when you're in preseason, man, it's like you want to play, but you don't want to play. I want to go out there, play 2 to 3 series, go out there and get you a sack or do something dope, and after that, pull me out. You don't want to play 3 quarters of no preseason game.
TJ specialty.
Absolutely. The definitely as soon as he got the sack, I said, he's done for the day. Yep, love that. That's what you need. But when you talk about how Dan was playing earlier and how Kendrick Green played earlier, and then even when Dotson came in, he even struggled initially. It's like, nah, man, you got to keep those guys in there. But we also have to remember that they're young. This isn't like when it was the Pouncey's, the Ramones, and the DeCastros, and the Owls, or the Beechams, and the Gilberts, and we're like, okay, they struggling right now, but it's more health related. We got to get these guys healthy. This group isn't a health-related group. This group is I need reps group. I need experience group. When the guy that we're banking on being our best offensive lineman, James Daniel, is still a young player who hasn't seen a ton of football. When you talk about Chooks supposed to be in our second best or arguably our best offensive lineman just based on the money part of it, he's still a young guy that we're 2 years. And we still were having questions at times. We were all a little surprised at the amount of money that they committed to him. But because of the money, it made us all shift our thoughts of, okay, nah, he's not a work in progress. He's a finished product. He's getting 10 a year. But that's not how it works. They just had to pay what they had to pay. But at the end of the day, he still has room to grow. And that's the part when we're talking about our expectations for this group. That's where we have to still understand that and not get too hype or too freaked out on it.
As long as they're not as bad as last year.
Yeah.
That's my main thing.
They should not be as bad as last year.
Just get into that top 20.
I don't think they'll be as bad as last year, but I also think Matt Canada will be able to do a little bit more to help them in contrast to last year. Just like I said, man, when they called that rollout to move the pocket for Kenny, I was like, yo, we couldn't get that last year with 7. And I understand that, 7 could jog 2 to 3 to the left, but it wouldn't be that same tempo, right? Because what you're trying to do is make that DN be wrong. That DN is flying upfield, so it's like, yo, we're going to hook him. We're going to get him, hook him. He's inside now. We got this quarterback outside on the box. Now you got a run-pass option if you want to. That's not what Ben was capable of. But now Matt Canada can call that type of stuff. So when he called that, as soon as Kenny comes in, I'm like, I love that call. Because it negated that rush. It gave Kenny an easy time and throw. That's when he hit George Pickens. And now we're like, okay,
first one.
We're moving.
Pick it to Pickens.
Absolutely. Now we're moving. But it's those type of things that will allow this O-line to be better while they're improving, while they're still young. The moving of the pocket right and left. Not allowing that quarterback to just drop back to a stationary spot and let these just D linemen just fly and rush off. Because there's certain games where you go in as a DN or as a D lineman and you're like, bruh, this quarterback can't move. We racing to a spot. We know this O-line ain't going to hold up. But then you get into some games and it's like, it should be like that. And you come in and it's like, bro, it's roll out to the left, roll out to the right. Bunch sets. You know why you run bunch sets? It makes your D lineman, your DN in particular, outside linebacker,
I might need to take notes right now. This might help me for Madden.
But that's what you do. You go bunch. You condense it. You want a lot of guys on the edge of the line of scrimmage, even if they're not in the tight end position, just around the C area, because it makes those outside linebackers and DNs have to mess with their alignment, whether you're going super wide or you're going to be super tight. But either way, it allows that tackle time. It allows that tackle to get a better angle. And those are some of the things that I do anticipate seeing a lot more of, just based on what Matt Canada showed in that little 2 series with Kenny. I was like, okay, I see what you're trying to do here. That's going to be something that we'll roll with.
All right, more bunch formations.
Yeah.
I'll look for it because there's a lot of man blitzing going on right now in Madden.
It's a lot of man blitzing. You got to get some
bad.
crosses popping, bro. Them crosses will kill you in the man. Or you double.
You want to talk about the real life Steelers line? I mean, mine's about 10 times worse than this ultimate.
Man.
It's bad. I'm starting 70 overalls right now.
Oh man, that's rough.
Hey, since we're on this offensive line
topic, about it, baby. Let's do it.
You know this is being discussed right now.
I do.
Do we need to add to the offensive line group?
I mean, honestly, that's a strong possibility. When you talk about adding, I do think that you would love to add. The problem is who and how.
Left tackle. I think that's the one position I would look at. Because guards, I'm good with Dotson. We just paid Daniels this offseason too. Center, we just paid Chooks as well as right tackle. Left tackle would be the one. I think.
So with left tackle, we had to first off see who's on the free agency market at this time of year and why are they on the market. And then the next question is who's trade bait potentially, where you're looking at other guys and you're like, yo, you know what, we could trade for this guy. He might, he's got a little contract situation. He's a little disgruntled, or he just got passed up. Like those are kind of where we're looking at, because it's not like March when it's like the beginning of free agency where we got the who's to pick from. Now, not to be disrespectful, but this is the equivalent of dumpster diving in a sense. When you're going, like, you might find a Joe Hayden, but you might find a Justin Gilbert. Think about both of them same time of year, same situation. And one was golden for us and the one was not so golden for us. Would you agree? So, like, when I think of this time of year, that's, who we looking at potentially.
Okay. So I got the left tackles off the top of my head because there's only 3 of them in free agency right now. Yeah. Eric Fisher.
Okay.
Solder.
And Fisher, I thought Fisher was coming back from injury, though.
Right, I think he is.
Yeah.
He's been good, though.
No, he has been.
Right?
Yeah,
like, he's healthy.
We always have a bad perception of Eric because of how Debo just is his Achilles heel. So every time we think of Eric, we think of Debo. But outside of Debo, Eric is still a good player without a doubt, yes.
Ready for this last one?
All right, let me hear it.
Jason Peters.
Oh, man, you got
40 years old.
Bro, did you see how big he is, like, massive down, bro.
Oh, is he done?
I don't think
he just never announced his retirement.
But what I'm saying is, even last year when he came back, like, he just looked like, I'm like, bro, you don't care right now. You just get a check. Like, I don't know. I'm not feeling the Jason one like that, bro. I'm not. I would much rather go with Eric if he's healthy. I think he's a younger player. I think he's just has more left. You know what I mean? And besides, Peters only want to go to Philly now, man.
Is that what he said?
No, I ain't said that, but they always calling him up. Remember they brought him back to play guard. He was like, "Oh, y'all want to play tackle? Give me more money."
Calling him up for the comeback.
Yeah, man.
Tevin Jenkins. Right. He's more right tackle though.
True, and we also know, and not just as a as a knock on him, but he's still a young player who this is only his second year. So some of the stuff we're talking about with Dan Moore, you're gonna still deal with Tevin. You're gonna deal with some of those growing pains, man.
Isaiah Wynn. I mean, Patriots trade rumors.
No. I mean, Wynn is cool, but do you is Wynn going to be a legitimate upgrade over Dan Moore? That's where I'm at right now, because yes, we
apparently
saw
he struggled at left tackle last year. They even switched him to right tackle heading into this season.
That's what I'm asking. That's because to me, I'm like, Dan Moore had a horrendous game without a doubt. But I also think of what I saw over the large 17-game sample size from him last year. And I think of some of the times where he looked decent. I think of some of the matchups he had. And I also think of how we protected him at times. And I say to myself, man, we can definitely do some of those similar things. You know some of the freaks you got to deal with. But when it's a freak, okay, cool. This is the plan we're going with. But if it's a regular person out there, well, I'm going to need Dan to stand up. Dan went against a potential freak. Josh Allen is nice, bro. He's going to be a really good player. We ain't saying that he's elite just yet, but he's definitely making a case for himself to be one of those, feared edge rushers. So it's like, okay.
He might be this season. He's just got to put it together in the regular season now. He looked pretty damn good against us.
Absolutely. And he still had some moments last year as well. You know what he did to the Bills? I said that was the one that hurt me, the Josh versus the Josh game. I'm like, bro, I don't like that Josh Allen anymore. Go home. Leave me alone. Yeah, man. So with that, it's like, nah, man, you got to understand, like, he's a good player. A really good player, man. A higher pedigree player than Dan Moore as well. And that's the other part that we kind of lose sight of. It's like, bro, this ain't no scrub. He ain't no 4th round, 5th round draft pick. It's a top pick. This is a dude that they got big money, or they're intending on being one of their big money guys. So
the thing I could see with the Tevin Jenkins trade is Jenkins the right tackle, Chooks the left.
Well, we did have Chooks working some of that. I remember, and last year, the only reason why we didn't get the competition was because Banner wasn't available, so we had to move Chooks to the right. I get it. I do.
Would that be too much for Chooks right now, heading into the season? He's been playing right tackle literally these last 2 seasons exclusively.
I don't think it's too much, but at the same time, I don't want to unsettle Chooks. I think he's finally, like, comfortable. And that's the thing that I like.
Saw where he basically did the George Pickens on that guy that was trying to rush him, just shoved him to the ground.
He's finally looking comfortable. He's finally looking consistent. And to me, I'm like, I don't want to move him. That's kind of like when people say, hey, man, should we move Edmonds to inside linebacker? I'm like, bro, Edmonds
see how he was tackling.
And we could talk about that as well, because I just want to say it's very different what he's been asked to do, 100 tackles and all that, versus you talking about playing in that box as a Devin Bush role. Night and day. The way our defense is set up, he's always the free player. Our defense is designed to feed the weak safety. He is always the weak safety in the run fits. So Devin Bush, Miles Jack, Robert Spillane, they're accounted for in the box. So it's a guard, it's a center tackle. Somebody is pointing to them linebackers saying, hey, I'm blocking that guy. The safety, that's the extra defender. We ain't got nobody for him. So he's always the unblocked guy. So he's able to flash on the line of scrimmage. Damani Casey, another guy, right? A lot of tackles by the line of scrimmage. Now, if you put them in the box as a linebacker, they're no longer the weak seam defender. They're no longer the person that we're funneling every play to. They are the person that has to do the funneling. They are the person that has to beat a man. They has to put 2 hands on a 300-pounder, lock him out, and get off of him. I've seen Robert Spillane do it consistently.
I was going to say, even for Edmonds, a tight end might be tough for him.
That's all I'm saying, man. A Gentry? Think about how big Gentry. That's a difference. So that's my only reason of cautioning people of, hey, man, just put him right there. It's like, man, if you're talking passing situations, you might get away with it, but eventually, you know what happens? It's 3rd and 7. They see Edmonds come in the box. You say, you know what? Let's see if he can really play the run.
A little halfback draw.
Absolutely. Let's see if he can really play the run. And when they see that he can't in that manner, now you have an issue, because every time you put that package out there, no matter what personnel grouping, they check into that run, because they're going to say, can this guard block Edmonds? Or can Edmonds beat this guard? Because that's what it becomes. Whereas when he's the safety and he's walking down, he's always the extra guy. So that's the context, man. And that's why for me, I'm like, could Edmonds play a linebacker role? Absolutely. I just think that you would want to put a little bit more weight on him. And I would also want to give him a legitimate training camp to do it. Not a,
sure,
hey, man, you got 2 weeks, go out here and start. Like, nah, y'all set my man up.
I would love to see those two on the field at the same time somehow, though.
Who?
Because Casey was looking lights out.
Well, no, they were doing it, though. They were doing the 3 safety look.
How'd they do it? Are you just missing a cornerback then?
Yeah, so it's essentially
it's like a big nickel
formation.
Nickel.
Yep, big nickel. But instead of it being a nickel corner, you bring in Damani Casey, and that was how they ran it. Yeah, it could be very productive. It absolutely can. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as long as you got a guy that, if they ever try to expand the formation and put some type of speed in that slot, well, as long as that safety can cover it, which Damani Casey has proven that he definitely can, you can get away with that. So, yeah, it could definitely work, man.
Yeah, I'm liking our secondary.
It could definitely work. Also, Trey Norwood's another guy that they kind of pseudo do that to as well, because he moonlights as a nickel, but he's still technically a safety. So when you see him out there, it's like, okay, is this your nickel, or is this that big nickel or speed base look that we're looking at? And the reason I call it speed base is because you still have your regular like linebackers and D-line and stuff in there. It's just this extra safety out here now. You know what I mean?
So back to the offensive line.
Yeah.
We got nothing right now. I was liking the Jason Peters thought, just because. I mean, he's a bringing name. A dude at 40. Yeah, he's the name. I feel like definitely the name. I feel like he could be a steady hand on the line.
I just feel
bring
like
some leadership.
He would bring a ton of leadership. He would definitely.
I think he'd get the fans rowdy too.
He would, but when it came time to actually block some of these dudes, I just that's
serious question.
Yeah.
Do you think he would have looked better than Dan Moore in yesterday's game?
Honestly,
just yesterday's game.
Honestly, I can't say 100% yes,
okay.
And the reason is because he's getting slower. And Josh Allen wasn't beating Dan Moore with power. He was beating him with get off. That's what TJ Watt beats people with. Get off. Von Miller, get off. So if you can't get off, I don't care how big you are. And in this case, Jason Peters is actually really big.
The old trip or something he could pull off.
I mean, yeah, you try what you need to try over there, man. You know, but that's the only reason why for me, I don't necessarily think that Jason Peters would have been an upgrade. I think that what you could have done though is say, you know what, instead of trying to drop back and pass, let's check to the run with Jason Peters against, Josh Allen. I would like that matchup a lot. I would definitely like Jason Peters drive blocking on Josh Allen. I definitely would like that. Dan Moore, not so much. Because we saw Dan Moore isn't a big, like, people mover like that. Jason Peters, he can though. And that's why for me, it's like, if that's the context we're talking about, sure.
What really screwed us up was Dwayne Brown signing with the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
Becton going down. Yeah. Now, I don't know if we would have paid him that contract. It was $10 million a year.
We wouldn't have, because up until that point.
For 1 year, maybe.
No, think about this, Deke. Up until that point, we never saw Dan Moore get beat like that. So everybody was still very confident in Dan Moore because, what he did last season is just going to magically carry over to this season. So if we would have brought that up a week ago, think about, we talked about, would you want to replace any of the offensive linemen this offseason? And Dan Moore, you even said, I feel good about Dan.
He's the only guy, though. I said we got to see how he looks in training camp and preseason. And then if things are going awry, maybe you do bring in someone. And Dwayne Brown was available this whole time. And he should have been available, but Becton got hurt.
But you was cool on the Dan Moore. You like, bro, we got Dan. A lot of people felt like that. So now that we finally see him against what is hoping to be some type of like nice top end, pass rusher down there in Jacksonville, now we're over here freaking out. It's like, nah, man.
Something to consider. That's all. But I don't think we have too much. You're right. If it was Dwayne Brown, I would be pounding the table maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's no one else. You're right. I mean, we're trading for someone, but like, how much of a question mark are they compared to Dan Moore already?
Right, and unless you're trading for a proven commodity, but then, it's a price tag that comes with that. Whether you're talking giving up something substantial from draft capital, or it's a situation where it's a young tackle that you're going to have to sign and then trade. Or not trying to trade, but trade for and then sign him to a nice deal. Like we were talking about the Roquan situation potentially, which now that's put to bed because he said he's going to play.
What's he doing? Come on, man.
Well, he understands that, man, I'm going to make money if I play. If I don't play, I'm not going to make money, and they're still not going to move me. So play this last year.
Kind of like the Deontay Johnson situation,
absolutely,
honestly.
Except he didn't sign the 2-year extension. He said, okay, I'm going to go out play this year, and I'm going to hit the market. If you tag me, I'm going to get paid anyways. I can respect it. I don't hate the idea. I mean, I get the frustration, especially when you feel like you should be compensated to a certain level and you're not. And when you're in that negotiation and they say something outlandish, you heard what he said. The offer they gave me was disrespectful. Told you. That was one of the only times in my career where I looked at my GM and I'm like, bruh. Well, at the time he wasn't the GM, excuse me on that. But I'm looking at him like, bruh, we about to have a little conversation over here, just me and you in private. You know what I mean? And one of us ain't coming back from this conversation. Like, that's just like you talking a little bit crazy. That's the like, I get it. Roquan, 100% I get it. But that's the business, and that's the part where you got to learn to not take it personal. As hard as that is, it is extremely difficult. But you got to learn, man, don't take that personal, bro. Don't take it personal. That's business. They're going to try to get you for the cheap. You're trying to get you for as much as you can. Mm-hmm. You got to find that common ground. Don't take it personal.
100%. Back to the Super Chats?
Let's do it, man.
Zach Miller.
What up, Zach Miller?
Happy birthday to my wife, Amanda Miller.
Shout out to Amanda Miller, man. I love, and I love birthdays, man. Salute both of y'all, man. Daggone, that's awesome right there. Amanda in the house. Birthday lady.
Fish Momentum. The celebration of Matthew Boyce was beautiful. Rest in peace.
Oh, yeah. That's the music teacher he's talking about. Absolutely, right. Man. No, absolutely. Or choir teacher. I mean, clarify that. No, right. Man, definitely. I'm glad to hear that, too.
Damon Brown. What's happening, fellas?
What it do?
I sure hope y'all come to a ATL in December.
Okay.
Kick it with me.
Okay.
Trina and the rest of Steeler Nation. Y'all got to make it happen. Shout out to Trina Steel Diva. 5.
So, hold on. No, that's right, because she's in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Because I was like, say, how you going to link up with Trina down there? But if they already in Georgia, they probably homies then. All right, fair enough. Maybe that's why he always shouts her out. Maybe they just home. Maybe that's the homie.
Yeah, they're getting some set up for Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Fish Momentum.
That's pretty dope, though.
Baker starts week 1 versus old team. Yeah, it's official.
Yeah, absolutely.
Official news from Official Momentum.
So we got Baker starting week 1 against the Browns. Then we're going to get Dobbs starting week 3 against us. Because I saw how Dobbs looked out there. My astronaut was going crazy. I even had to get on IG. I posted on my story. I was like, yo, I like what I'm seeing, man. Like, it's Dobbs, bro. And I rarely post about like another team on my story outside of the Bills, of course. But I was like, yo, it's Dobbs, B. Like, he was cooking, bro. He was cooking. Yeah. He looked like QB1 out there. That's all I'm saying.
He looked comfortable, confident. It looked good. Like he could at least bring more to them than what Jacoby Brissett would.
I was agreeing, bro.
In terms of like an X factor, having a more active arm, obviously more active in the ground game too.
Yes, indeed, man.
Because Jacoby Brissett, we know he's just limited. We know who Jacoby Brissett is. We know what he's bringing to the table. He could be a steady guy for you, get you out of a stadium. You only want him in there for like a game or two. Yeah. Not for like the whole season.
I would agree.
And this is basically, it's almost going to be the full season for the Browns. 11 games, man. Exactly.
Yeah. But I was definitely liking what I was saying from my dog, man. I was like, I need Dobbs. I need that storyline. You know I need that storyline. I'm calling for it.
I mean,
somehow, some way.
I don't know if Mason's gonna make it.
I don't think. I know the one part. I think Dobbs has a legitimate chance though.
Yeah, I definitely don't think Mason's starting. I don't know if he's gonna make it to week 1 on the Steelers roster either.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing
it's getting dicey.
Steelers Digest Player of the Week.
It's getting dicey.
Mason Tomlinson, Mason Rudolph, varsity made everyone look.
It's getting dicey,
look like JV out there.
You know how that goes when they start talking like that, Deke. You know how it goes, Deke.
I mean, Mason played fine.
Deke, you know how it goes.
I like
Deke.
what he did in the last 2 drives, but
you want that 93 or you want that 87? What type? Or you want that diesel fuel? Which gas you want? You let me know. We got the kerosene too for the OGs out there. Whatever gas you need, we just gonna keep pumping that. Look at this guy. Look at him. Look at QE1. For anybody out there, y'all want, here he is. That's what he doing, man. You know this. Come on, bro. And so as soon as he starts, I said, oh, you better put that gas away, coach. You better stop this.
Like, he was fine. He was fine.
He definitely.
You want to talk about building up the speed. Like, that's how his outing was against the Jaguars, because it was rough the first 3 or 4 series, especially coming off Kenny Pickett with that 1 minute drive. It was like the balloon just deflated.
It looked like OG Mason for. I'm like, bro, come on, Mason. Now,
yeah, because he was throwing checkdowns to Pickens and not getting first downs.
I'm like, bro, come on now, Mason, don't you start this? But then at the end of the third,
final drive, I mean, come on.
Yeah, well,
you got to give him credit.
At the end of the third, that's when it started to shift, man. And then it carried over into that fourth, and then what he was able to do to finish it out. But yeah, early on, I'm watching Mason. I'm like, bro. You making it hard right now, bro. Like, I done fought. We done been talking about you and all this, and you doing this. Like, come on now. But he picked it up though. But yeah, I was hearing Coach T when he's talking. I'm like, bro, you come on now, Coach. Coach. You had me at first, but now you're going a little too far.
Fish momentum. Cam Hayward is number 42 on the top NFL 100.
Mm-hmm.
I did see that. I don't have too much context for it, like who's around him. Who's going to be listed ahead of him?
Well, they said...
at least he's in the top half.
Well, no, because he's still behind, like, Chris Jones. He's behind...
This is the stuff we've been complaining about with, like, Madden ratings and stuff. It was like 3D linemen
he's behind up there as well. And that was the whole issue. Like, because, you know, they don't reveal everybody just yet, but we know based on the names who's still out there.
Right.
It's like, okay, so you saying him, and him, because those three going to be on this list. You know what I mean? And it's like, you got Cam at 42? So, yeah.
And what we've been saying as we've seen some of these off-season rankings lists, Cam should just be 2 on any of these like interior defensive linemen or defensive tackle.
Wherever Aaron Donald is ranked, Cam has to be the next highest rated defensive lineman.
Put him 2. That's all. That's all we're saying.
And we're not even saying that you have to have him in the top 10 overall as a player, because I think Aaron Donald will still be in that top 10 as an overall player. But you can't have another interior D lineman ranked ahead of Cam if it's not Aaron Donald. That's my biggest issue, man, with this whole thing. I'm like, I'm not saying Cam has to be a top 15 overall player in the NFL, because we know overall in the NFL, like, it's a ton of talented receivers, quarterbacks running. I get that. But when you talk about him at 42, I'm like, bro, hold on now. That's a little bit.
Yeah, because there's some stats I pulled up.
Come on now.
This was about a month or two when Madden disrespected him, and I think it was PFF in their rankings for interior defensive linemen. Yeah. And you look at the stat, it's like him. Damn, is it Simmons? I think down in Tennessee.
Yeah. Justin,
that they're comparing to Chris Jones, and then there's 1 or 2 more. You compare Cam's last season to all of them.
They were better.
He had a better last season.
Absolutely.
But then if you even want to do the whole longevity approach or like take some body of work, if you look at the last 3 or 4 years, Cam blows him away too. So I just don't get where they're getting off at here, having Cam Hayward not at 2 behind Aaron Donald and having other players.
I would definitely agree
because
with
you
that.
Look at you literally look at everything.
I would definitely agree with that. All right, before we get to the next super chat, I did want to salute everybody that's in here. Man, y'all are super chunky, man, on this stream right now. Man, we definitely appreciate that. But also, make sure y'all hitting that like button. You know what I mean? We got to make sure y'all are spreading this word, man. We need more people to get this content that we kicking out, all right? So make sure y'all liking this thing, man. If you haven't, hit the notification bell. Make sure you're doing that. And definitely subscribe if you're not.
Oh, I didn't even hit the like button. Far. Thanks for the reminder. I just started thinking, because now I'm in, like, season mode. They're telling me, like, yo, you got to talk about getting the likes. You got to talk about, subscribing, stuff like that. It's competitive out here.
It is. I didn't realize it's like this whole game. I'm over here like, oh, let me make sure I say this every day. All right. So, like it. Subscribe. Boom. I got that out. Checked it. You know what I mean? I might just pay a bill next part with Yeti, because y'all see that logo.
Yeah,
y'all see the logo. You see the logo?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I'm going to take a sip real quick.
It's football season, which also means it's investment season as well. Trust me, I have some really good investments for this year. I think I'm going to do a Big Deke News segment on everything that I got in the bank right now.
And if you're not tuning into that, man, you are tripping. Let's go. All right, so you want to pay a bill real quick? Let's pay a bill, all right?
Yeah.
So the good people that are here with us, y'all might see a new logo on the screen, a oldie but goodie by the name of DraftKings Sportsbook. Y'all know we got major love for them. I'm talking about the top-rated sportsbooking app in the U.S. Safe, secure, but more importantly, Deke, just like you, it's reliable, baby.
Thanks for the compliment.
Come on, man. I don't have to compliment you when I'm just being honest. But we know, man, the season is here, and there's no better way to watch some of these games than by having a little bit of extra incentive to pay attention to it, because we know at times when you invest in some of these games, whether it be same game parlays, single game parlays, player performances and things like that. I mean, it's a lot that you could be paying attention to.
Has them all.
They definitely do. And for the places, because we know a lot of y'all are in, all over the world. But in certain places, you can't use the sports booking app. I get that. But they also have a fantasy football as well, where you're able to bet on those, on particular matchups each and every week, and also have a little bit of fun as well, man. So we definitely want to salute DraftKings for that. But more importantly, y'all need to make sure you're downloading that app. All right. If you haven't done so just yet, download the app. And then what you need to do is this. You got to use this promo code. You know what the promo code is, man?
It's pretty easy to remember.
I think so.
I sit next to the guy. It's
Oh,
Moats.
It's that simple. MOATS. You use that promo code. Your first bet for $5. That's all you got to put a $5 bet in. You're going to get $200 in free bets. $200 in free bets. Essentially, that's free money. So with that being said, you know what to do. Don't waste time. Use the promo code. Download that app. Put that $5 bet in there. And then after that, go ahead and get that free money and go to work. But, Deke, we also know this, man. At times, some people struggle with this thing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
At times, some people might have some problems.
Right.
Well, as you look on the screen right now, you see some information up there, some numbers you could call, number you could text. But more importantly, there's another phone number up there.
Yeah.
And it goes by 1-800-GAMBLER. I say 1-800-GAMBLER. I say, Deke, if you got a problem, you better call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, I'm back to the regularly scheduled programming.
We're back. New melody, huh?
Well, new year, new me. You know how I go, man. It's DraftKings. They bring it about me.
Well, I saw on your screen this HOPENY.
Yeah. Because in New York, they have a specific number that you can call or text. But
I got worried for a second. I was like, "Whoa, what's he gonna go to here?"
Yeah. It's just for New York specifically.
Okay.
You have to have New York for some reason bold and larger than the rest. But we know everybody else don't live in New York. I don't live in New York, so why would I call the New York number? Mm-hmm. I don't live in New York, so why would I text the New York number? So that's why I'm going to go with my old faithful number, that 1-800. You know that one. And I know how to spell it. I can't forget that one. That 1-800
it's a
Gambler.
classic.
Oldie but goodie. Oldie but newie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So shout out to all y'all, man. So now we back on. Let's get it.
Okay.
Had to put a little extra stank on that thing. Y'all know how I do.
Super chats. We got Damon Brown. Did someone replace the O-lineman's cleats with skates? Better hold off on trading Rudolph. We may need him with this line. SMH.
No. I could definitely understand that, man. That was one of the things, too, that I thought of as it pertains to Kenny's participation. I was definitely liking the fact that, when I was thinking, and I'm going to put this Steelers recap thing up there because we already doing it organically. But
sure.
One of the things I was thinking about was, man, early on in some of these games when we're trying to figure out this offensive line and the protection and stuff like that, man, do I really want Kenny potentially getting into that? And I was like, I don't know. But then I was like, I don't know if I want to mention that either. Then I was like, dang, I don't want to have Mason be the duck, but it's like, not like Duck Hodges, but like, you got to be the bait. Let's go see how well this O-line can protect you. If you survive, then we could put one of our, I was like, yeah.
We can't just be out here tossing games, though.
I know. But I was like, yeah, we just Macy, you trying to start rest these lines next week? What's up, bro? Just see if the O-line improve a little bit.
You're saying for like a maybe 1 week experiment?
That's all I'm saying. It can't hurt, can it?
take a quick loss to win in the long run.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Sacrifices must be made.
Damn.
No, we ain't gonna do them like that, man. Nah. But I could definitely understand though if there was a scenario where they didn't want to move him, it would be largely, I think, with that thought process, just like, man, if something were to go wrong, at least you know you have 3 guys that can legitimately win you games, and that's in all seriousness, man. Based on what all 3 of these guys have done over these 2 weeks, I think they've all shown a certain level of
just competence,
confidence, and just that we can believe in them to go out there and do enough to win us a game. All 3 of those guys have shown that we can win with them, not in spite of them. And that was something that we all needed to figure out. Now, in terms of who has the most potential or who is going to develop or who is actually going to go out there and live it up, well, that's a different conversation. But just based on what all 3 of these guys have shown, they have clearly shown that they all 3 can be varsity. And that's all you want, man, when you're talking about new quarterback replacing a Hall of Famer. Just let me know that we at least are here. We can worry about going from here to here, but at least let me know we're going to get this. And I do think all 3 of those guys, whoever it is, at any point in time this season, I do feel good about that dynamic for them.
For sure. Fish momentum. Big Ben sipping his beer, watching Mason safety.
Hey, people, I can already feel it.
Huh?
Hey, during that game, man, I could feel the big Ben. I could feel him. They was over there looking. Hey, man, it's what it'd be like that if 7 was out here. Be a little nicer if 7 was. I could feel it, man.
Oh, you don't think I was thinking it?
No, you would
first couple drives.
You would never think nothing like that. No, not you. No, of course not you, Deke. No.
Did you see my tweet, dude? Did you see what one of my friends texted me?
No, what did he say? What did he text you, bro?
I want to read this word for word because I'm gonna botch this up. Okay, you ready for this?
Let's do it, bro.
I mean, this happened around halftime or whenever Kenny Pickett was showing out. The text that was sent says, I'm still scrolling. All right, we're here. New sheriff in town. Not Big Ben, but Big Ken.
Oh. Ooh. Ooh.
Like, what do you want me to do with that?
Jeez.
What do you want me to do with that?
Yikes. And that's from your friend. That's from the homie.
Well, that's why.
Ooh.
I mean, that's why. They knew how to, like, cut deep. But at the same time, I can appreciate a good joke.
Yeah. Is it a joke?
And it's supporting Kenny, so I kind of like it.
It's
weird.
Every joke has some truth to it. That's what they say, man. That's what I'm saying, Deke.
The truth was Kenny Pickett played pretty damn good. That was the truth.
Man.
We can't be tossing out nicknames like that, I think.
I think Big
The iconic dope, Big Ben nickname just cannot be reused like that
saying,
and have a spin off. We can't do that. We can't do it.
You sure?
We can't do it.
Why not?
We can't do it. I like that it's supporting Kenny and saying, like, okay, he's obviously the heir apparent. We can't be disrespecting Big Ben like that. We can't be doing that. We cannot be doing that.
That's Big Ken over there. I see you, Big Kenny. Like, come on, man. It'd be dope, bro.
I can't do it, dude.
He already wears a glove like 7, but he wears 2 because he's the upgrade. We've already talked about that. 7 was 7. He's number 8. So everything he does, he ones him up. I'm with you. Better first preseason appearance.
I don't know. We'd have to look back at the archives. We'd have to look back at the archives on that one.
No, we don't.
I mean, Ben went 13-0 his rookie year.
We didn't get to the regular season just yet. So all we could do is talk about 2 preseason game sample size. Who has had the better 2-game preseason sample size as a first-round draft pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers? That's all I'm saying.
Why are you pitting me against myself in a way? Like, this is not what I want to be doing. I just want to be full support of Kenny here.
I'm just asking you a question.
Different eras.
I'm just asking a question,
We're not doing comparisons here.
We like comparisons. We are comparison people. You know this. We like this.
Not in this vein. Not when it comes to the heir apparent, to the GOAT. Let's just leave it as is.
You got the GOAT and the baby GOAT. See? The baby GOAT can be bigger than the bigger GOAT, though. You know that. Come on, man. We always say that we want our children to be better than us. Come on, man.
Here's the problem with me saying one way or another anything about Kenny's career compared to Ben.
Uh-huh.
It's lose-lose for me, really.
I would agree.
It's lose-lose.
But I love it because you've set it up like this because you were so hard on your stance that now you are stuck here, and I love it. And I'm going to just do this all season long. I'm just letting you know that now. I'm doing it all season.
Yeah, it's tough because if it's Mitch, I could easily say, come
Absolutely.
on, Mitch is nowhere close to Ben. Don't even be doing this.
And the fact that you're going to do it, like, you would still think about 7 in season if it was Mitch or if it was Mason. But if it's Kenny, that's going to make you be conflicted.
I just want to give him the reins, let him be his own guy.
I love it. Oh, I can't wait.
Let him be the future. Yeah.
Ooh, Raiders planning to release King Drake. Okay, interesting.
I'm liking Jalen Warren, dude.
I can dig it.
But yeah, that's the problem with the whole Kenny Ben comparison, or saying like, okay, yeah, Kenny, he's just gonna be better than Ben, or he's just gonna be worse. I'm not trying to put that mojo out there. I'm just not, one way or another. But deep down, I'm saying no one's 7. No one's gonna be the GOAT.
Because I believe
that's what I'm saying.
I believe in every player on this roster. I want every player that's on this roster to be better than the person that was out there before them. So I do hope that Kenny is the best quarterback to ever put on a jersey here. I hope that TJ Watt's the best outside linebacker to ever put on a jersey here. I hope Miles Jack is the best inside linebacker to ever put on a jersey here. You know what I mean? We can go down this list, man. That's how I feel. So Kenny, lead the charge, baby. Let's go.
Maybe this is the scenario. To victory! Kenny can win 6 or 7 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Still ain't 7 though. Can we say that?
All he needs is one MVP, right? The MVP don't get him.
It's different though. It's just different eras.
He's got the worst offensive line.
It's just different. No, we won with hands down. No, I'm telling you, Super Bowl 43, dude, that was the worst offensive line in the league.
Would you take that offensive line over this current offensive line?
I might take the current one. Dude, I don't think you understand how bad that O-line was.
It couldn't be that bad if you won a Super Bowl with it. That's all I'm going to tell you.
No, it was bad, dude.
I hear you, but it can't be that bad if you won a Super Bowl with it, bro.
It was bad, I'm telling you.
I hear you, but you can't be that bad if you won a Super Bowl with it,
You have to watch the last drive.
I hear you.
That was the drive where they gave Holmes the MVP, but they forget what Ben had to go through just to even get him the ball.
But you're in the Super Bowl doing it. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if Dan Moore would have held up in the Super Bowl right now. What he looked like on Saturday. That's all I'm saying. Kendrick Green, I don't think he would have held up in the Super Bowl.
Green's not playing.
Green started what are you talking about? Green started on Saturday. Stop that, man. If Green could start on Saturday, what we say here, man? So you going to take that offensive line versus the Super Bowl offensive line? Because you said you was going to take this offensive line. Kendrick Green started on Saturday.
I'm assuming.
Nope. Kendrick Green started.
No.
Kendrick Green was a starter. He was a starter. He started.
No, come on.
Kendrick Green and Dan Moore started. So you're taking them in the Super Bowl. Is that what you're telling me?
I just know
it's
bad.
No way that's what you're telling me. It's impossible.
This O-line's going to be better. You know how we were just talking about this O-line can't be worse than last year. This O-line will be better than that Super Bowl offense.
No, I hope it is. I do. In all seriousness, I do hope it is. But we can definitely agree if Kendrick Green is out there with that, I just
might
think
be arguable.
That offensive line would slightly be better.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. It might be arguable at that point. Yes.
Yes.
It might be.
So once again, Kenny for the upgrade.
I can't do it. Dude. I can't do that.
All right, fair enough.
But you see how conflicted I am with all this right now.
And I'm loving it. Just know I'm going to do this every single time.
I think it's a good conflict, though.
It's a great conflict.
It's a good conflict.
It's a great conflict, man.
When you draft the dude from Pitt that you've been hyping up for Heisman and all this other stuff,
and he has to replace your guy.
As the heir apparent, I mean, yeah, it's a good problem to have.
It is.
It's a good problem to have. First world problems.
Yes.
First Deke problems, I guess you could say. That was Damon Brown.
Yeah, we're at G. Alexander.
Fish momentum. Yeah. He says Big Ben sipping his beer, watching Mason safety. I like that one. Just want to say that again. G. Alexander. Wagwan Moats.
There it is.
O-line needs work.
Mm-hmm.
No knee-jerk reaction.
No, I would agree with you on that. They definitely do.
Okay,
experience,
this
man.
chat might jump on me.
They're going to need that experience. They're going to need that consistency, man.
Chat's on you.
All right, bet that. Trade Mason. This is from Official Momentum. Trade Mason for our former O-line coach in Denver. If I remember correctly, Munch actually isn't in Denver anymore.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why we were talking about him this offseason, about a potential return.
Vibing. Yeah, he's vibing right now.
Yeah, he actually did. Was it with the Fan or one of the local radio stations saying, like, I wouldn't mind coming back.
Yeah, but he's been kind of like chill right now, man. So,
but that was just after we hired Morgan, right?
Yeah, from Carolina. Yeah. I was about to say Tennessee, but it was from Carolina.
No, it was, what's his name? Is his name Morgan? Am I wrong on that?
I was about to say Arthur Morgan, but that was
Simo? Was that the dude from last year? The guy we just hired.
Chris Morgan was the guy from last year.
Who did we just hire then?
No. It was Adrian Clem last year, and then it was Simo.
Okay, Morgan, who did we hire then?
No,
some dude from the Panthers.
We definitely got a guy from the Panthers. If I'm not, it's definitely dude from the Panthers.
I'm not looking it up.
It's not Frizz, man. Who is it?
No, he's receiver.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. I know who it is too. It's gonna drive me nuts. Oh my goodness.
Do you actually want me to look it up?
I do, because it's gonna bother me, bro. It's definitely gonna bother me. And I can it's not Pat. Is it Patrick? Yeah.
Pat Meyer.
I was about to say it was a Pat. Yeah, okay. I knew I was gonna get it eventually. There it is. And I did get it, so shout out.
Yeah. You're still with the chat. I'm at Official Momentum saying, Deke, you found a new member.
All right.
I don't know how far away that is.
I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out. Solo 1, he says, I mentioned to you guys last week that we should be more concerned about right guard. At left guard, Green's bad play is a result of Dan Moore. Look at how Dotson struggled at left guard last year. Hashtag start Kendrick Green over Kevin Dotson at left guard. Replace Dan Moore.
That was a lot. You might have to repeat that.
So hold on. If I say, So he says we should be more concerned about right guard. He says the left guard's bad play is because of Dan Moore. And if you just replace Kevin Dotson with Kendrick Green, you'll be fine. He says what? Kendrick Green is the greater than symbol to Kevin Dotson. KG is greater than KD in this. And then he says that's at left guard.
Is this the same dude that said Mason's throw was overthrown?
I don't know, but that's what he said. I don't personally agree with that. I don't think that the left guard struggle has been directly related or exclusively because of Dan Moore's struggles. I think that both of those guys, or all three of those guys, in certain elements have struggled. But the difference between Dotson and Green is I don't see Dotson getting rolled back 3-4 yards, like he's on the slip and slide. Whereas at times when I'm watching Kendrick Green, I do see that. I get Kendrick Green is a better athlete, but I'm not asking him to go out here and run cone drills and stuff like that. I'm saying, can you protect this quarterback against this 280-pound, 290-pound D lineman? To me, Kevin Dotson does a better job and a more consistent job of that than Kendrick Green. But I can understand if you might, be a supporter of Kendrick Green because at times he does have some nice plays. But for me, I just can't overlook some of the really bad plays that he has because his bad is really bad at times. And it's unfortunate because you could tell he's passionate. He wants to be better, but it's just one of them things where it's kind of like when they talk about, oh man, it's not about the size of a dog and the fight is about the size of the fighting the dog. I don't want to hear that because that Chihuahua is going to get mangled by that Rottweiler. So when I think of Kendrick Green, I think of him as that Chihuahua in certain instances. And the D lineman, he's going against Ben the Rottweilers. It's like, bro, he got all the heart. He does everything right. He even is very self-aware. But when you're talking about the matchup, certain things, I don't think he's going to be capable of doing. In contrast to a Kevin Dotson, who might not be as athletic as Kendrick Green, but size-wise, he gives you way more in terms of his ability to combat those bigger-bodied, athletic D linemen. So that's why, for me, I still think that Kevin Dotson gives you the best chance to win at left guard instead of Kendrick Green.
The only line combination I could see us switching up with the guys that we had is moving Dotson to right guard just because he likes playing right guard more than just Daniels over to left. But Daniels has been playing right guard his whole career. Yeah. Dotson said whenever we had him on for that interview, he said, I definitely like right guard more. And I think didn't he sub in for DeCastro a game or two early in his rookie season?
And he played pretty good. Heck yeah.
That's the only switch up that I could see working or making any sense. Outside of that, I think we all know who the 5 should be. Right,
I'm with you
at this point.
I'm definitely with you.
Unless
based on who's available to us right now, I think that's our best 5.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got Jerry. Is that Jerry? Oh no, JMC. Shout out to JMC. He just joined the upper room. So welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, baby. Welcome to the family. All right. Official momentum. He says, shout out to the new upper room family members. You better believe it, man. You can never have enough of y'all. But also remember, man, it's an extra video in there just for the upper room members, man. All right. Just make sure y'all check that out on the community page. You'll see what I'm talking about. All my upper room members, the regular folks, y'all got to wait a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I want to do something just for them, And also, for everybody that was on the Space Talk, y'all heard this live, but I also want to reiterate that going forward, not for this last regular season, this last preseason game, but during the regular season, when I do these Space Talks, it's 60 minutes for everybody. But once that 60 minutes is up, I'm going to do an additional 15 Q&A exclusively for upper room members. So when we talk about how chunky, y'all see how chunky the Space Talks get. It's just a lot that we're breaking down. I'm talking for 30, then after that, I'm taking questions. I get it. It gets crowded. So I'm going to give y'all upper room members y'all own time. So that way y'all don't have to worry about that. Y'all get that extra. You know what I mean? But it's going to be just
like
for y'all.
What we did with the banner interviews
Absolutely.
last year.
Absolutely. We would go live for everybody. Then when it's his time, It's exclusive, only upper room members. So same type of concept when the regular season hits. After the games, we're doing the post-game space talk. Just want to throw it out there for my upper room members because we do appreciate y'all. We want to let y'all know that. So that's why we do a little extra for y'all, all right? Next, let's continue. Black Hillbilly 1969. He says, can the O-line be fixed with coaching? Yes, it can in terms of when you're talking about the technique. You can definitely get those guys to be more consistent because, as I said earlier, it's not one particular player getting beat every single play. It's more popcorn. It's the right tackle. Then it's the left tackle. Then it's the right guard. Then it's the center. Then it's the left guard. Then it's the left guard. Then it's the right guard. Then it's the left tackle. So it's like you don't have enough consistency across the board from all five of them. So in that degree, yes, you can get more hyper focused on the coaching element, the technique element, the consistency, doing the same things over and over at the right, the right way you're supposed to do them. But the other part that I would say is it can be fixed with coaching by schematics. Talked about it earlier. Bunch formations, tightly condensing close to the end of the line of scrimmage. 2 and 3 guys just in that area. Or if you're Pat, instead of having him lined up in line as the tight end, you split him out and you stand him up, but you have him about 2 yards away from that tackle. So it's about here and maybe to like where this wall is. So it forces that DN to be right here, or that DN has to get super wide. Now, why does that work? If the DN is in between us, well, shoot, he don't know if Pat going to chip him or not. So he's thinking about Pat. Now, you could jump set him if you want, get him right now, and it's over. Or if you play it patient, you tell, hey, Pat, man, chip him on the way out. So now you got him, right? Because he's going to be tight, so there's no angle. If he's all the way out there, well, shoot, you know what I'm saying now? Hey, Pat, take one little half of just space him out just a half inch wider, and now he got to run this big boy loop. And remember, I'm blocking a point. I don't have to go chase this guy. I'm just going to kick like a son of a gun straight back, and I'm going to beat him back here to this point. He's coming from all the way out here, so I got a little bit of time. So those are some of the things that they could do schematically from a coaching standpoint to kind of mess with that. And then other than that, when it's a play where you want Dan to single block him, you say, look, bro, this is what we finna do. We're going to roll this thing out to the right. All right?
Hold on to your life.
Hold on to your life. We're rolling out to the right. You feel me? And no, I don't want play action. I don't want you having to turn your back. I want you sprinting out because I know it's going to be hot on this backside. But that's the approach I'm taking. So, yes, you can protect him schematic. And this is the thing, too, with Dan. I understand in the game it felt terrible, but it's not going to be every play where it's going to be a Josh Allen out there doing that. So you're not going to have to resort to those type of measures every single time you want to pass.
And he's already Myles Garrett's kryptonite, so we don't got to worry about him when we face the Browns.
But it's just one of those things. This is true. That's what he said, at least. But this is just one of those things where it gives you some tools in your tool bag. If we're in a situation he's struggling, we can go to this. If he's in a situation and he's struggling, you could go to that. You can go to this. That's one of the things that, when you talk about playing in Pittsburgh, we always talk about that. Danny Smith in particular. He's like, yo, you always got to have something extra. It's like, yo, if you're planning this and this and this, well, what happens when this and this and this is stopped? What else do you have? What's your answer to that? So it's like, man, we just named all 3 or 4 things just off the top of our head that we know can work. And that's before you get into some of the more specifics. Hey, this is an edge rusher who you can hard count. Oh, okay, this is a guy he likes to get off. Man, hard count him to death. We're going to make him either get 30 false or 30 offsides penalties, or he's going to be just, I can't go. But we're going to do some of that to mess with him. We're going to do some of the stuff where motion over in front of him, motion back, motion, like different things to just mess with his vision, mess with his line. So those are some of the things that, like, you got a lot of options in terms of the schematics part of it. So long story short, yes, Black Hillbilly 1969, we got a lot that we could do with it, baby. All right, official momentum. He says Steelers shouldn't have let Dobbs go. Nah, Dobbs was cooking, bro. Dobbs was cooking. I'm telling you, Deke, Dobbs looked good, bro. He did look good, man.
I saw him.
Yeah.
I saw the one sideline pass.
Yeah.
It was when they got closer and closer to the red zone, closer to the goal line.
Yeah.
There's one outside the number. It was pretty good in between 2 defenders. I give him credit.
He was on.
He was wailing too, man.
That's like his best info game I've ever seen. And Dobbs is my guy. I've never seen him look like that. He looked good. He looked good, bro.
I wonder if Brown's podcast and news sites and stuff are having that conversation.
Seriously,
you think they're talking about Dobbs versus Brissett for QB1 right now?
Man, how could you not?
They probably are.
Is Brissett that established, that polished?
No, not at all.
That's my thing. I'm like, over a 2 to 3 game sample size, sure, but we're talking 11 games. Brissett going to have some stinkers out there, bro.
Yeah, I wonder for them, they're just going to probably go the safe route, at least to start off the season. But yeah, if he struggles over like 2 or 3 games, you might have to make a move because you still got Mm-hmm. 8 or 9 more than before Watson comes back.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. I definitely would agree, man. All right, let me see who else we got. Paul Bennett. Paul Bennett says, and I'm almost to that official momentum one that you were talking about. Says Mason's nickname should be Perry, making his case he's a 3rd or 4th round trade value. Should Steelers keep him or trade? Should team offer that? Oh, okay. So he's saying Mason should be nicknamed. His nickname should be Perry. I'm not sure the Perry part, but shout out to EJ Perry. Do you remember him?
Yeah, maybe that's what he's talking about.
Hey, shout out to EJ, bro. I was like, all right, EJ, I see you, mate. I see you. But would you trade him or should we keep him? Well, to me, man, I can make a case for both. I definitely can make a strong case for him staying here when you talk about just having 3 quality quarterbacks that can give you varsity play at any point in time this year, especially in a season where we haven't seen any of these quarterbacks have the consistent long-term success that we are accustomed to when we're talking about Ben. When it's talking about Kenny, everything he's done this offseason or in the preseason has been a very short sample size. We highlighted what he did in the game, but it was 8 plays. 8 plays. That's the context we have to remember. We talked about what he did last week. That was the second half. It's just a little bit different. And then when we talk about Mason, even in some of the stuff where he's looked good, it's like it's still small sample sizes. We're like, yo, can you do this for 17 games, 4 quarters at a time? That's going to be the biggest test for all of these guys, Mitch included. Because if Mitch had this, awesome track record of doing that for long spans of time each and every season, he never was out of Chicago. But that wasn't the case. So that's going to be the biggest question mark for all 3 of these dudes going forward. And that's why I could definitely see a scenario where they don't move a Mason because they're saying to themselves, we don't have a guarantee that the rookie's going to do it for 17. We don't have a guarantee that Mitch is going to be able to bother us for 17. Then when you throw in the potential of an injury, the potential of it's like, does it hurt you to have him here? It doesn't.
It does not hurt.
It doesn't.
It just makes things awkward potentially. But
Correct.
Mason seems to be playing this pretty well.
And that's the thing. It's like we're not in that locker room to know that dynamic. If it's a dynamic where they're like, hey, man, Mason isn't tripping. Mason isn't going the Debo, James Harrison route of being disgruntled.
He's getting $5 million a year still. I mean,
I know.
You want to improve your career, obviously.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing.
It's not a bad gig in the grand scheme of things perspective. It's all different, though. It's all relative.
Because you got to think, man, for them dudes, he's like, what's a $5 million when they're giving out hundreds of millions of dollars? I can't get that 100 if I settle for this 5.
100%.
That's the dynamic. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's cool. And I know for like, in certain situations, it's easy to be like, oh, man, dude, it's $5 million. You take that, you good. It ain't chump changing without a doubt. It's definitely not chump changing.
You just want to live up to your potential. Right. Really. I think everyone can relate to that.
And that's my thing. Because it was like, man, I had an offer on the table that was nice. But it's like, bro, I know what I felt like I was worth at that time. And it's like, yeah, I could settle for this. But if I feel like I'm worth this, I'm not going to settle for this and be pissed off the rest of my life. And for Mason, I could definitely understand, if that is his case, I could definitely understand that. Because it's like, bro, them hundreds that you saw what they just gave Deshaun. Not saying that he would get that, but it's like, bro, that's $240 guaranteed. Like, bro, what? You know what I mean? And that's the part where you got to be thinking to yourself, you Mason, like, bro, I think I'm capable of getting some of that. At least a 60, an 80 somewhere. So that is the part where I'm like, I don't know his energy. I don't know that temperature right now for him in this competition. But on the surface over from my perspective, I think he's handling it well. He's not being a distraction or a cancer and something like that. So if those things are true, then it doesn't hurt to keep him.
No, I think it just comes down to the draft pick. If someone's offering a 3rd rounder, I think you jump at that.
That's different. But do you think a team is legitimately going to offer a 3rd rounder for Mason Rudolph? If you were another team, would you?
Now. Exactly. I'd say max 4th.
So that's my thing. I'm like, we love to throw high draft picks for a guy that we don't value allegedly. So if we don't value him, it is not because, these guys are just so much better than him. It's just, we don't value him. So if that's the case, why the heck is somebody else going to value him like that? I just don't get that part of it. We all watch the same tape. I just don't see how he's to that where it's like, you get a 3rd for them. I just don't see. If I'm another team, I'm not giving up a 3rd for Mason Rudolph right now.
What'd they send for Baker?
What was that? It was but they had the contract. It was like a conditional. I thought it was a conditional. No, it wasn't conditional 5th in the deal. Because I know they split some of the money though. Cleveland had to take some of that. Carolina took the rest.
Yeah, it wasn't too much for Carolina. It was like $4 or $5 million,
right?
And that's what Mason's salary cap is right now. Wasn't it like a 4th round pick?
It wasn't. I thought it was like a 4th or 5th round pick, bro. So and they took on the money.
That's what I'm wondering. If Baker's going for that, And it's like, I guess what's Mason going for? Because he'd be going into a similar type of scenario. Actually, probably a worse scenario. Yeah. Baker at least had a clean competition. He was a former number 1 overall pick. Mm-hmm. You knew he was probably going to start. Whereas Mason's going to go in a scenario where he's most likely not going to start. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a pseudo competition. But, I mean, we're almost done with preseason. So he's probably going to be starting, sitting on the bench, and just coming in the game if the QB1 struggles. Mm-hmm. And the only scenarios I see like that, there's probably 3 or 4 teams, like Lions or Texans.
Right.
Who else? Lions, Texans. Those are the 2 right off the top of my head. Seahawks, I guess, too. But they got 2 quarterbacks.
They got 2 quarterbacks, yeah. Lions and the Texans got 1.
Browns, if you're thinking before the Deshaun Watson thing.
But even with the Browns, they still
Mason Dobbs again.
They got a ton. They got a Brissett, they got a Rosen, they got a Dobbs. It's like they still got their trio that they going through over there, you know?
Yeah. So I would assume 4th or 5th is probably the best we could get for Mason.
Yeah, that's all. I think more so 5th, unless this team is like if one of these dudes get hurt going into this last game, I think it's a different conversation.
So that goes back to your initial point of like, would you rather just keep Mason on the team than having that 5th rounder?
I personally would, because it gives me more peace of mind, especially when we've experienced what a season is like when you lose that, QB1 in any capacity, whoever it is, whether it's Kenny, whether it's Mitch, it doesn't matter who. But when one goes down, now you're literally all eggs in this next basket, unless you have that Mason. But the other dynamic that I just wonder is how does that work when you still have Chris Oladukin? Because
practice squad,
right? But you're not going to keep 4 of these dudes in that room, right? 3 on the active, 1 on the practice squad.
Oh, is that weird?
Yeah, that's a lot of numbers for one position where you're talking about your backup quarterback takes practice squad reps as well. Your third quarterback is going to take some of the reps as well. So it's like, man, how we doing this thing? Like, I get what Chris brings to the table in terms of the athletic ability. He's the long-term project piece, but it's like, man, we got a lot of heads here and a lot of bodies in here. And then also by keeping on a Mason, 3rd quarterback active roster, you're losing a position somewhere else. Kind of like the Derek Watt conversation, right? You keep Derek, who else drops off? Also, okay, you keep Chris on the practice squad, that's still going to be 1 spot you're down, and you still already got 3 guys on the active. I just think that that's a crowded, super crowded room, man.
Okay, that's check for reasons to trade Mason then, I guess.
That's all I'm saying.
That's not something that I've ever really thought about over these last 18 years. How are we divvying up quarterbacks, backups, practice squad? You know, we've had 7. Like, it's the last thing that's ever been on my mind.
Think about it. We've always kept, 2 on the active roster. It was 7 in Dobbs, or 7 in Landry, 7 in Seabatch, 7 in Mason. You know what I mean? Like, we're not keeping all 3 active like that. Like, we typically don't do that. So that's the part where it's like, all right, if we're going to keep 3, now you're talking about keeping 4 dudes on this roster? Like, that just seemed like a lot, man.
Well, it could be good to keep Mason around to have 2 veteran quarterbacks in Kenny's ear whenever he's out there.
There you go.
Two good veterans' opinions, you know what I mean?
He'll need it. Trust me, man. Any rookie that's playing out there, you're going to need all the help
you're giving me that. Baby. You're giving me that.
No, I'm just saying in the sense of like, bro, this is one of the things
Kenny can have all the support he can get.
So check it out. This is another thing that I just want to talk about in terms of 8 plays. Kenny finally getting to go out there with, a better unit, but facing a better unit. You notice it was still a very small sample size. They are not trying to expose Kenny to too much of that negativity, too much of that potential damning stuff. Think about Mitch them first 2 series getting a chance to figure it out, right? Think about Kenny getting a chance to figure it out. Think about Kennedy getting a chance to figure it out. You don't get that luxury when you're out there QB1. It's happening around. That's the difference of it. You're learning a lot. Them 8 plays seem great until you out there. We need 60 plays, and there's only 8 good ones, and the rest is like, oh my God, what is happening out here? That's the stuff that when you talk about putting them dudes out there, okay, we talked about the O-line, right? You thought Jacksonville was a little hostile at times for Mitch? That's all I'm saying, man. When the regular season hit, them dudes ain't subbing out ever, and them stats actually matter. So dudes is actually playing harder. That's all.
Can we talk about this?
He's going to get his opportunity, though.
Can we talk about this?
Go for it, man. He'll get his opportunity.
Is it time?
He'll get his opportunity.
Is it time? Get him in. KP8, week 1. Starter.
To me, no. To me, I'm going Mitch.
All right, hear me out on this.
Go for it.
Well, here's just the question.
Uh-huh.
Should it be a legitimate conversation now? Should we have quarterback 1, Mitch versus Kenny, last preseason game?
If in my perspective, if Mitch would have played bad, yes. Mitch didn't play bad to me. Mitch actually showed that he could stand in the face of adversity and make plays. Mitch showed that he could be elusive in the pocket. Mitch showed that even when things are going bad, he could still turn around and hit a Chase Claypool for a nice bomb. Mitch showed me that, hey, regardless of what y'all talking about, he's ready to go. He's ready to weather that early season adversity. When you're talking about this offensive line, y'all, should we trade somebody for Dan Moore? Tell you, man, we ain't got no options like that on the table right now. So you're going to be having some adversity. Kendrick Green, Kevin Dotson. Think about this. If Dotson's a starter, he is a sprained ankle or anything away from it being Kendrick Green out there. Just think about that. That's how quick it changes.
Well, we just signed Dunkel. Maybe he could be a versatile piece.
You,
he could go left guard, right guard.
So for me, all I'm saying is when you have at that particular position that type of, these first 4 weeks could get crazy, you go with the safest option. Not the guy that necessarily has the most upside, but the safest option. Because to me right now, Kenny isn't as safe as Mitch. Kenny could go out there and it could be tragic at times when you're talking about regular season early on behind an offensive line that isn't protecting him as consistently as they need to be. Mitch has experienced this already. Mitch has been in Chicago. Mitch understands what that's going to be like at the NFL level. Mitch understands how to get rid of it. Mitch understands certain things that he has to do with his game. He's also mature enough that, hey, if he has to go in there and have a conversation with Matt Canada, like, bro, we need to change this up to protect me better ways here and here, he's going to be able to do that. Whereas when I think of Kenny early on, that's not going to be the same way. Early on, it's deer in headlights. Not in the literal sense for him, because obviously he is a confident, he has the moxie, and he has all of these intangibles. And that's why I think long term he is your answer. But when you're talking about the first 4 weeks, how many plays has Kenny played versus legitimate competition? 8.
Tomlin saw enough.
8 plays. He saw enough because he said, yes, he worked that 2-minute situation. Perfect. Let's get him up out of here. We don't need to see anything negative. Get him up out of here. Keep the confidence right. We're building him up. Kind of what we talked about in OTAs and in minicamp and in training camp and in preseason 1 and now in preseason 2. It's a progression. It's natural. But you throw him out there before he's ready, you cannot bring him back. You can't undo that. That's the biggest part of this. And I get the excitement. I do wholeheartedly. And Kenny definitely deserves that excitement. But when you're talking about how this offensive line looked versus a legitimate D-line, that to me isn't acceptable. And you put Kenny out there, I think you do him a disservice than helping him out. That's
you think
my
it's
whole
all
thing.
on the O-line then, basically? Like, if the O-line was good.
What did I lead off with? What did I lead? I said Dan Moore and Kendrick Green. I said Kendrick Green is a rolled ankle away from being the starter out there.
Right.
That changes a lot. You don't agree with that? You don't think that changes a lot? If this O-line if the O-line looked how it looked last week and Mitch, hey man, didn't look as elusive or as confident as he did, man, turn it over to Kenny absolutely. Because I think Kenny passed Mason. Yeah. Even though Mason played well and finished that game well, I thought that Kenny definitely showed that, hey, in the kitchen
critical
that he went in, it was critical.
Game-winning football type of scenarios.
Think about momentum. Everything was on Jacksonville's side. He came in 2 series and lit a fire for us. So you could feel that.
The first drive, he would have got something going, too, if we didn't have all those penalties.
Right. But my whole thing is like this, man. 8 plays is cool. But I don't know if he has that same type of start. Them 8 plays, if them 8 plays happen in the first 8 plays of this game when we're realizing in person, like, oh, Dan Moore is struggling. Oh, we're realizing in person, oh, Kendrick Green is struggling. Oh, we're realizing, oh, man, James Day, oh, man, this, like, we're realizing on the fly. By the time Kenny got in there, they all had a chance to do what? All right, let's breathe. All right, we got a new plan. All right, these are the adjustments we're going to make. All right, Kenny, it's on you. Let's go. That's a night and day situation then. Hey, guys, the plan is perfect. First 15, man, don't worry about it. We can go out there and score every play. And then you go out there and you're like, bro, these first 15, we getting our heads kicked in. What are we doing? We need to switch something up. That's the part where I'm like, man, you roll with the proven veteran. You go with the guy that is at least going to help you weather that storm. Now, by week 3, 4, 5, if this O-line looks like it's competent and Kenny is still looking good, especially in practice, now you're like, okay, now we start having that conversation even more legitimately. But to me, I think that Mitch showed enough in that game with the adversity, because what would be the biggest reason, and not talking draft status, but that Kenny would go out there? Most people would say, oh, he has the elusive, right? He can get away from the pressure. What did Mitch just show?
Crowd buzz behind him too.
But what did Mitch just show though? But what did Mitch show? In terms of on field, not the buzz, not the fans, because it all matters who's executing on the field.
No, I thought Mitch played fine.
So once again, if he played fine, my whole conversation prior to that game was what? If Mitch plays bad and Kenny plays well, Kenny gets that opportunity going into this last game. It needs to be a legitimate competition. That wasn't the case. Mitch still played well in the midst of that dumpster fire up front. So if he could do that in the midst of the dumpster fire, how does Kenny pass him all of a sudden? That's for me where I don't see that. But that could just be my perspective.
I think he has passed him in terms of preseason play, like in
popularity,
game.
Sure.
Well, no, I think this 19 for 22, 171, the 3 touchdowns. I'm talking about that stuff.
No, because you have to remember, if Mitch played the exact same amount of snaps versus the exact same amount of competition, Mitch numbers are just as good, if not better. Mitch versus the unit he played in Seattle? Are you serious?
I do think Pickett played better in yesterday's game. Or Saturday's game, I'm sorry.
Yes, and we talked about the context. Absolutely.
And we're hearing Mitch has been struggling in training camp. But anyway, like that's
all of them have been up and down in training camp.
That's aside from it. That's aside from it anyway. My thinking, and I'm kind of like with you on all this. I've thought from the start that the Steelers are just going to go with Mitch at quarterback 1. So I'm not trying to get my hopes crazy up. And Mitch I've thought in the 2 preseason games, he played fine. He played fine. And if you are trying to protect Kenny, it would make sense as to why you would go with Mitch early on.
It's very difficult because of the popularity, though.
But I think Kenny's made his case. Like my thinking is, if it's close and the in-game experience, I think favors a little bit towards Kenny. Now, if you want to disagree on that, but let's just say it's close between the 3.
See, and I think that's where we disagree. I don't think it's close between Kenny and Mitch right now. I think that it was close between Kenny and Mason, and that's why I said I think Kenny is past Mason because it's close. To me, I don't think it's close right now between Kenny and Mitch. I think that Mitch showed the things that I needed to see in terms of, okay, the biggest question mark is, can you handle the pressure? Because that's what we all talk about with Kenny. Oh, he's young, he's elusive, man. If it gets hot, man, he can roll, he can do this, he can do that. Mitch showed that he could do the exact same stuff. So if he showed that he could do that, where is it close? Like, what part am I missing right now just based on the full body of work?
Like I said, it's the it factor, it's the X factor. Dude knows how to
X
win.
factor, all that is fine. But we're talking about on the field. Are you doing this? I need this. Kenny has shown in a very, very small sample size what he's capable of in those settings, but it is still a big difference between 8 plays and you playing 60 to 70 plays. That's all I'm saying. Whereas at least with Mitch, in his sample size, he still has looked good. You said it yourself. Yeah. I've said it. We already know he's done this at this level before. Multiple seasons. He's played behind shoddy offensive line play before. Multiple seasons at the NFL level, not in the collegiate level. Regardless of how old he is, it's a difference. And that's my biggest thing of why I don't feel like right now it's this conversation of, oh, it's close between Kenny and Mitch. I don't feel like it's close like that. I think that Mitch showed, he's the QB1 going into this thing. Now,
he had the edge going in, too.
And that's fine.
And he didn't mess it up, to his credit.
Absolutely. Kenny had a lot of momentum because he was drafted 20th overall. He didn't mess it up either. So it's like, it's positives for each and every person in this scenario. And that's why I started off by saying, man, all 3 of these dudes you feel confident with going into a season. All 3 of these dudes you feel like you could win with because all 3 at some point in time have shown that. But if we're saying, man, based on full body work, OTAs, mini camp, training camp, preseason 1, preseason 2, to me, nobody has passed Mitch just yet. And that's me watching practices and me watching them in games. And I think that's why I still roll with Mitch going into week 1 based on what we saw on Saturday, him showing that he could weather that storm. He could deal with that adversity. D-lineman grabbing all on him. He's getting up out of that thing. I think that matters. I think you need that, especially early on.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I can at least wrap my head around as to why you're not going to start Kenny week 1 is just trying to protect him and seeing the offensive line. Like you don't want to throw him out there to the wolves, get him hurt. Something crazy's happening. Yeah, that's the only thing that I can wrap my head around because I think he's ready. I do. I think he's ready.
I think of like how Zach Wilson, for example, right when he went to the Jets, all the intangibles, all the talent in the world, plenty of people confident in him. But we said at the same time, hey man, that Jets team, the O-line is still a work in progress. They're figuring it out. At times he looks good. At times he struggles. And you're like, man, why is it so up and down? Why is it so up and down? Well, when you're a young player and you're surrounded by that type of stuff, it's going to affect you way more than it might have affected you in college. It's going to affect you way more than it might have affected you when you're not getting hit, when it's a practice setting and everything is safe. It's different out there in that regular season. And I think for us, we're so accustomed to how Ben operates in certain moments. And we've seen Kenny operate in college, and we're like, oh, yeah, man, it's definitely going to translate. And it's not just going to translate. It's going to happen week 1. I'm like, bro, that's not how it works. It's not. And that's the thing that I think as much excitement, as much hype as we all have for Kenny, I think we all have to remember that part as well. Just think about how many young quarterbacks come in here early on and they struggle. Like, I think that's what we're trying not to have Kenny go through.
Sometimes the pressure makes diamonds, though. That's the other thing, because that's another case for Kenny, I would say.
All I'm saying is we could come up with whatever cool hot saying we want, but the statistics show if you talk full, how many quarterbacks come in here and play? Don't give me one or two. Give me the full sample size. That's the difference. Look at the numbers,
Lawrence is an example. I think we all feel like he's going to be fine.
Is this year 2 or is this year 1?
Peyton Manning, Joe Burrow in his rookie year.
Peyton Manning year 1, what did he do?
He was terrible.
Trevor Lawrence year 1, what did he do?
Terrible.
So you're telling me you want Kenny to go out there and look terrible?
No, I don't at all. But
you just brought those two up.
No. I'm just saying it's more of the Tomlin saying. We just can't live in our fears, because there are great rookie seasons that are out there as well.
Fear and reality are different, though, bro. That's my only thing. Like when we're talking about like probabilities, and we're talking about just the information, right? If I'm able to take 100 rookie quarterbacks, that's a large sample size. And when I'm over here, like I can only name 10 at best that came in year 1 or year 2 were those guys. You tell me that sample size makes sense. You tell me which one am I living in my fear or am I having blind faith? Am I betting on the 10 or am I betting on the 90?
I'm not sure. We'd have to look up some stats, especially whenever you're talking about first-round quarterbacks going in. Because I think we have a good scenario for Pickett in terms of having a good defense. The line's the question. Now, if you're worried about him getting hurt and that type of stuff, that's tough because that could be fluky in and of itself. I'm not worried about the
injury part, but I am worried about you getting beat up, you getting a lot of bad reps. Josh Allen, not Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, prime example of that. You look at what he did, 10th overall pick. They put him out there 3 weeks in, out in Arizona, but behind that terrible offensive line, he never looked the same. Beat up, banged up, start playing out of pocket. And look at how you say you just think about
it's just one of those things. If you have it, you have it.
But think about how you look at him. You're like, oh, if you got it, you got it. I hear it. It sounds good, but that's not reality. That's not. You put him behind a better situation early on, or you allow him time to develop. I think it's a totally different situation. But you will never get that opportunity because what? Once you roll them out, you're going to make your decision after 1 year, right? That's what you saw 1 year. You're like, oh, you either got it or you don't. Think about how quick you made that decision.
New regime, too. That wasn't new regime.
No, it was. And that does play a part of it. But it still doesn't take away from you already having your mind made up off of one season. And you just did. You said, hey, man, you either got it or you don't, right?
Well, he's had multiple chances.
Never the same as what he had in that first year in Arizona. Not even close.
I don't know, dude. I mean,
where was it the same?
A lot of these dudes. I think Josh Rosen's probably one of the only examples, right? Where you have a top 15 quarterback pick where he doesn't get the same exact opportunity. I'd say that's more the outlier.
Okay, so let's go. You want to go down the list of every first round player over the past 5 years?
No,
because we could do that too.
No, I think there's not a perfect science to any of this. Really, I don't. Agree. But like, I wouldn't write off Pickett having success if he were the starter week 1.
No one's writing him off. I'm just saying the probability of it is not in his favor. That's all I'm saying.
The O-line's the only question. He looked fine with the O-line breaking down during his final minute drive. He got the ball out quick.
And what did we talk about in that context?
I get it. But there was times where the dude's right up in his face. He dropped that dot to Deontay for the touchdown.
That's what
the one to Pat Freiermuth.
We broke that down. We talked about that, the context of it. Absolutely.
So we could do that.
Well, we'll find out.
I don't think I honestly don't think at this point he's going to start. I would like to see like final competition, preseason, game 3. Mitch gets a series. Kenny gets this. It would be box office for Steeler fans.
Fair enough. I'm all with
That's what I like. I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, I think he deserves a legitimate chance. I think there's legit reason to have this conversation based off how he performed. It
definitely is. When we talk sample sizes, for every Joe Burrow, I can name what's the Lockler dude, or a Drew Lock, or a Mettenberger.
He might have just
or nope, stop that. Or what was the super tall cat that was out in Denver?
Mettenberger was like a 6th-round pick.
Paxton Lynch, is he another? Or which round was he? I don't even remember which round he was. I'm thinking of all these dudes that get opportunities to be the
he guy sat early too, on. Right?
He did. He sat the first year.
Yeah.
And he still came in there and sucked.
That's what I mean. I just don't know if there's a perfect science.
I'm just trying to, but once again, we're just talking probabilities. It's never perfect science, but if you're going to name me 10 guys and that's all we could do versus on think about every year, how many quarterbacks are going early. This is one of the outlier years, right? We talked about this. Only one quarterback in the first round. Every year, it's like 4 or 5 of these dudes every year. That's all I'm saying. And you think about five every year, and we're like, dang, man, same team still picking. Same team still looking for guys. Same team still trying to figure out if this the guy or not. If they got to replace that guy.
Wouldn't you want to know earlier rather than later? I just think Pickett's the guy. Like, I've seen enough.
And
I've seen enough.
I think
he's gonna be good.
You believe in people differently than others. You still believe that 7 is the guy, and there's a large majority.
Those are our 2 options in my opinion.
Right.
Bring back 7 or start Kenny.
So that's why when you tell me you believe in Kenny, I'm like, it goes in one ear and out the other because you still believe in 7. I don't see how 7 could come back this year and be that guy based off what we saw last year. But you
we could
do.
Fire Canada and let him run the
that's
offense.
why for me, it's like, if you feel like that stuff, I'm like, yo, cool. Like, that's your opinion, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, dude, I wouldn't write off just because he's young or a rookie, Pickett coming in and having success. That's really my whole point to it.
Fair enough.
Because it's happened many times with rookies.
And once again,
but then
no one wrote it off.
Even
but
if
you said many times, it happens more times where it's not that in their favor.
No, what I'm saying, though, is even if he does struggle, that's natural.
I would agree.
If we're looking at Kenny as more of a long-term answer, like, that shouldn't kill us then.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
I think it's a matter of perspective. That's all. Because I do think, because it's Kenny, you would turn a blind eye to a lot of stuff. Very similar to when people talk about Seven's performance last year. You turn a blind eye to a lot of stuff. So what Kenny might go out there and do into everybody else is like, yo, bro, this ain't helping us. It's hurting us. You'll be over here like, nah, he's young, bro. We still got this. He's got the crowd. He's got this. He's got the it factor. So that's why for me, it's like, bro, I don't really go down that rabbit hole and agree with it, because to me, I don't think it works out like that. I think that, yeah, he has the chance to be good. Yeah, it's nothing saying that he can't come out here. But it's at the same time, nothing saying that Mason can't come out here and throw for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. What's the probability of it, though? Not as high. So could Kenny come out here and ball? Absolutely. What's the probability of it? To me, not as high right now. That's all. But you might feel like, hey, man, it's a 99% chance that he going to come out here week 1, throw for 5 touchdowns.
I think it'd be a decent chance we'd be doing pretty good with Pickett. That's all. I think we're going to do fine with Mitch, though. I think we are. I've said that at the beginning. No matter what quarterback we have out there. I mean, I kind of like the vibes we're getting when Pickett's in the game, though. There's a buzz.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's the it factor. I mean, we get 7 points up on the board in a 1-minute drill.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a coincidence. Dude knows how to get done.
Yeah.
That's my main thing. That's my main thing.
Yeah, and that's why I highlighted Matt Canada as well, because I said that was the only adjustment he made in that game, was when Kenny came in. The rollout, the 2-minute offense.
Nice of him.
Absolutely. But it goes hand in hand. That's all I'm saying, man. If Matt Canada calls the exact same style of plays for Kenny as he did for Mitch Trubisky, I think it's a different conversation. That's all I'm saying.
Are we guaranteeing Mitch gets to that 7 points?
I'm
this
just
is the whole
saying,
back and
I
forth
just think
we don't know.
I think it's a different conversation. That's all I'm saying.
All
I think if the O-line, when you talk about how do you combat fire D linemen like that can get off, the other thing is tempo. Because after 3 plays of quick game, which you saw when they started out that drive where they scored a touchdown to Deontay, quick game negates your pass rush. So if you try to rush hard, you get tired. 3 plays in, you're gassed. Now you're not subbing out. So by the time we're in that red zone to that tight goal line, like you talked about, the Deontay touchdown, and then he got called back in the next play, your D-line is gassed. You're trying to rotate out. It's a different scenario. That rush isn't as fierce. That blitzing linebacker that came and hit Kenny, yeah, that's from depth. It's a little bit different. That's all in my perspective. That's all I'm saying. So that's why I'm like, I do think it is different if you're having Kenny out there where you don't have tempo, where that offensive line does have to sit in there and protect, and that D-line is not tired and they're not forced to blitz. Because when you blitz, now you take a guy out of coverage. Pat Fry move up the seam. Remember that play, right? That's how that stuff works.
Hell of a pass.
But that's how it all works, though. It's chain reaction, right? So when I think of that, I'm like, in that context, do I think that Mitch could do the same if he had a little bit more time on Saturday? Absolutely. Because I saw him doing similar things without time. The pass he has to Claypool, the pass that should have went to Deontay, that should have been a completion. Are we knocking that? That's all I'm saying. That's not it factor. That's not, even with the crowd not being in your favor, because we all want to cheer for Kenny, you still are doing that? Before we implement a 2-minute drill, before we bring a little extra protection to help out Dan Moore, before we move the pocket, that's what Mitch did.
Missed a couple throws, too, overall. Oh, my God. But no, I thought he played good. Ultimately, I do think he played good.
Fair enough, man.
And I'm good with... I am and I'm not. I'm good with rolling with Mitch because I thought this would be the scenario, and he's looked good.
Kenny should get an opportunity at some point in time this year, though. I will say that.
Do you think this moves the timeline up sooner?
Absolutely
Because you initially had it at week 8 or 9, right?
To me, I think, man, for Mitch, his leash is short. I'm not over here saying that I think Mitch is the answer for 17 games and he's above reproach. I'm just saying for week 1 or those first 3 to 4 weeks, you roll with Mitch while you're figuring everything else out when the adversity is going to be at its highest. Then after that, man, it wouldn't surprise me if it's Kenny week 5, week 6, or at the bye week like we talked about. Because Kenny has definitely shown what he's capable of, but the sample size, it matters. When you talk about going into that regular season, it is going to be a drastic uptick. He hasn't seen that just yet. He hasn't even gotten enough reps in these preseason games to even feel comfortable with that just yet. And that's the part for me where I'm just like, how are you going to generate that over this next, week? And we don't even know if the Lions are even playing who they playing out there. It's like, man, it's just a lot of uncertainty with that. And that's the part where I'm just like, why expose him to that? And we can't undo that once he's out there. Once he's out there, you can't pull him back. So it's like, it doesn't hurt you in any capacity if he sits that first couple of weeks. You see, okay, is this the right combination? Is this not the right combination? Okay, are these the receivers that we need? Are these not the receivers? Like, we're going to get all that figured out. But that's, to me, why you don't just rush to throw Kenny out there. And that's for the same reason why I said it even in OTAs and minicamps. It's like, bro, you don't have to rush him. There is zero reason except for us generating our own pressure for him to be out there. Other than that, there is zero reason for us to rush this dude out there. And I just think that time is on his side. And with time being on his side, that's only going to make him that much better when we finally turn to him. Because once you turn to him, you don't want to turn back. I would hate for us to turn to him. And now we're sitting here 6-7 games in like, bro, I don't know about this one. I don't want to get to that. But if you have him out there before he's ready, before everybody around him is ready, it's like, yo, it'll look like that. And we'll be over here like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Maybe we might have missed on this one. I don't know. We're going to find out. Like, hopefully get it back next week. We can avoid that because we have the personnel in place for us to avoid that as well. And it's not even a living in our fears type of thing. It's just, like I said, probabilities of it. What's the bigger probability? Kenny comes in week 1 and he's proven he's that guy already after what? A half versus 3s and 8 plays versus 1s? Like, what's the probability of that just coming in day 1, being ready? Or Mitch being varsity, consistent in the first 4 weeks. And then you're like, you know what, man, I'm ready for Kenny. I need that uptick. Mitch has been playing well, but it's a little stagnant. Mitch has been playing well, but we need a little bit more juice. Now let's go to Kenny. I think that's a perfect situation. I think that benefits both parties in terms of Steelers and in terms of Kenny. It doesn't benefit Mitch because Mitch got to be the one getting the yank.
He's still got a starting opportunity, though.
But absolutely.
If you're looking to what he was looking at going back to the offseason, he's just trying to get a starter's opportunity.
Absolutely.
He's going to most likely get that week 1 here.
Absolutely. So to me, it's like, yo, and if Mitch comes out there and lights it up, well, great. That's a great situation. But if Mitch looks like how he's done the majority of his season, it should start good. But then after that, it's going to start to taper off. And when that happens, boom, now we give the young guy the opportunity. Now we give the young guy the opportunity where he has rookies, or not rookies, but he has guys that have been out here for a couple weeks. They've figured their stuff out already. So now if he's a little bit shaky, if it's something where it's like, man, that wasn't the best situation, you still got enough around him where it's going to protect him. He's not going to ever look bad. Whereas when we're trying to figure this thing out early on these first couple weeks, it could be some scenarios where it's like, yo, he might look bad just because we didn't know that this was the problem. Or he might look bad because we didn't know that was the problem. I'm just saying, give him a little more time. Doesn't hurt.
That's the scenario I could see happening.
Doesn't hurt him, man. It does not hurt him.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with you. It's not the end of the world. I just don't want to be tossing out losses or screwing up the season here.
Well, you heard 4 weeks. That you hear me, that first quarter. First quarter, we always break it down. Well, we used to be able to break it down 4 games each quarter because 16 games. Now you got the 17 one, obviously. But you give Mitch them first, that 3 to 4, that's when you're evaluating. If it's not what you think, you make that move. If you think that he's capped, you make that move. If you feel like, man, we are starting off slow, we're 1-3, or we're, whatever. It's like, bro, you make that move. And then you don't have to worry about, we're just giving away losses. Because now you evaluate, now you've seen, okay, he wouldn't be the only change that was being made. If we're starting off sluggish like that, he's not going to be the only one being made. It's going to be, all right, man, we got to bet the house on the offense line. We got to bet the house on the line. We got to do something on something else. It's going to be more than just that position because to me, Mitch isn't our biggest concern on offense. If he's, in terms of the starters right now, I'm not as concerned about him as I am with some of these offensive linemen.
Right.
Yeah.
I think everyone can agree with that.
Yeah.
You brought up linebacker. You want to get into that or you want to hit these super chats up?
Let's hit a couple super since you are caught up, and then after that, we'll go to the LBs.
Was I?
I thought, yeah, because you had, you did the Fisher.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're not caught up. Yeah, you're still on official momentum. I'm about to get you right now. All right. Cam Mo Kid 17, a.k.a. that's my little brother.
Oh, nice.
I was just talking to him the other day, too, man. We was talking about that head kick, bro. Yeah, couldn't believe it. Still can't believe it. Love you, baby, bro. You know that. But he says smash the like button. No, absolutely smash the like button, man. Y'all too chunky in here to not be hitting on that like button, so definitely hit it. Por favor, por favor. All right, JMC says, I'm a huge Mitch believer, but I cannot deny Kenny has looked really comfortable so far. Future is bright with George Pickens and Kenny. No, I would agree. The future is very bright with those two dudes, 100%. Absolutely.
Now fish momentum.
I got one in front of him. Okay. Gunmay. says Madden tonight, Deke?
Yeah, I'll be on.
There it
is.
Yeah. Man of the people.
I'm trying to go on a run where at least I'm live Twitch streaming every day. Maybe 6 out of 7 days in a week.
Let's go.
Trying to be consistent.
Let's go. I like that, though, bro. I like that.
Fish Momentum says, Deke, you found a new member to your unknown band. Is he talking about himself?
Oh.
There's been this weird back and forth of a Fish Momentum wanting to join the band.
You know what I just realized, too?
What?
I thought that was the Fish Momentum one that I was at.
We got more.
We got a lot more.
Okay.
My bad.
Let me know when we get to that point.
Yeah. We're almost there. We're not there just yet. Official momentum. Another reason of the Big Ben sabotage. Hashtag O-line stunk. Fair enough. Solo 1. He says, this O-line group needs Mike Munchak. Remember, Pouncey and DeCastro O-line was not that great until Munchak came in and sorted it all out. No, you're right. He definitely came through and settled it down and developed some of those guys. Yeah, I got to witness that firsthand. That was an awesome experience, man. Shout out to Munch. All right. Kyle Monier says, next year's first-round pick got to be O-line. I mean, it's going to be in the conversation. I'm sure linebacker will be in that conversation as well.
I'm liking Mark Robinson.
Now, Mark looked good.
Yeah.
He definitely looked good. He looked way better this week than last week.
Yeah.
More comfortable out there.
Yeah, you're probably right, honestly. We left tackle or something.
Yeah.
Some on the O-line.
I can definitely see it, bro. Can definitely see it. All right. Matthew Patterson. What about bringing in a left tackle, undrafted free agent, for a workout? Well, we talked about that early on. We were just saying in terms of who do you bring in? There's
3 names on Spot Rack. Yeah. I mean, unless someone can go on the dark web and find some other names out there.
That's the biggest issue, bro.
Those are the only 3. It's Peters, Solder, and Fisher.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue. So we'll see. I personally don't, and I think trade is probably your best option. If not, you got to roll with what you have and kind of do some of the things that we talked about in terms of how you could protect them. That's kind of like the approach that I take with it, man.
Yeah, I think in terms of trade targets, you just got to look at teams that suck.
Yeah.
And those, if any of those teams have good offensive linemen, particularly left tackle, try to target them.
Yeah, definitely left. I don't want to do the right and move them to the left. I want to be a left. If we're gonna make that move, like let them be legitimate.
I might have to go through teams I think are gonna suck this year. Circle their left tackle.
Who's got a left tackle that y'all don't want to need anymore?
Because they're probably not going to make any moves right before the season. Nah. They got to see that they're like 0-4 or like 0-5.
It's going to be a mid-season suck. It can't be like an early-on suck.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Kyle Monier, he says, who is your biggest surprise player on this roster?
I'd say Jalen Warren.
Okay, you going Jalen? I'm going Jannard Avery. Yeah, I'll go him.
Surprise in a good way?
Yeah, 'cause I think he's the third rusher. Yep. Finally got a chance to see him in game. That was the biggest thing for him.
Yeah, he was good.
Absolutely, he has to flash. The biggest thing I would say in terms of watching him is just he has to work on his just a little bit more discipline in his rush lanes. He likes to go inside, which is fine. But if he's not communicating that with that D tackle, the 2 plays where who was the I know Lawrence had one and then Beathard had the other one. It was more so just him not having gap integrity, him rushing inside. Dope move to win, but he never communicates with the tackle, so the D tackle never comes back out there to contain it, and that's why you're able to get that type of run. And I want to say, I know the one was a long run. I couldn't remember if he threw the other one or not, but he definitely had broke the contain and stuff like that. So that's the only thing, man. But I definitely was enjoying Jannard's first step. It was good to see that. And also I have to remember with him, he needs more reps to be just more consistent in terms of hand placement, stuff like that. Because remember, he didn't play outside linebacker since his second year in the league. These previous 2 years, he's been in Philly playing off-ball linebacker. So a little bit different, but to me, I thought that he definitely showed good burst. He showed good playmaking ability, good physicality, and I feel a lot more comfortable with him as that outside linebacker number 3 than Derek Tuska. This puts Tuska as that 4th guy, which gives me a lot more confidence. But I don't know, man. As long as we're healthy, we're good there. One of them dudes go down in terms of a Highsmith for a TJ, I think you definitely want to bring somebody in because I don't like Tuska having to be the pass rusher in certain instances. I think that's where he's very limited there. Whereas I think Jannard gives you, good burst, but I don't think he's as polished as Highsmith is right now.
Hey, you're speaking.
But he'll be my surprise though.
Yeah, you're speaking to the choir on Tuska. I mean, wasn't there? Hold on, I forgot. What was Avery's number? Wasn't he 49?
49, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There was a dude 46 that didn't look that bad either.
Yeah, 46. That was a Hamilcar. Yeah, Hamilcar. Yeah, he has some nice rush. No, he definitely has some nice rushes. Hamilcar did.
We're signing all these designs. Yeah, other names.
Yeah,
we
signed
he didn't look bad.
Like right.
They rotated between 46 and 49 on that side.
Mm-hmm.
He don't look terrible.
No, and he has good size. He's a taller player than Jannard. Jannard, like I said, is a little more sawed off and stuff like that. But I like his burst, though. I like his game a lot.
Yeah, I'd go with Jaylen Warren, though, just because heading into this preseason and training camp, I wasn't thinking about him for RB2 at all.
You saw the burst, though. You saw what it looked like. You saw the burst.
I think Snow played good.
Yeah.
He caught the touchdown. He couldn't get anything going on the ground because I think that was more of our line.
But you know what he had that was the most important.
Yeah, the special teams tackle.
Okay.
He jacked him up.
Okay.
That'd be on, what was the old ESPN
It was like
saying?
jacked up, right?
Jacked
Jacked up. Heck yeah.
He'd be on
You
that.
saw it.
That was good.
Yeah.
Really nice play. Yeah, Harvin booted that one down there. It's a hell of a pump by Harvin.
Shout out to Presley, bro. He was on one, wasn't he?
Exactly. It's good to see him back.
Heck yeah, man. Back in the flesh, man.
Preseason form. You know he kills it in preseason. He's just gotta replicate it in the regular season.
The most backhanded compliment, Deke. God, dog. Preseason form. I love it.
No, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good. Everyone was saying he's different this year in training camp.
Nah, facts. All right. We got official momentum here. He says, y'all want a Franco, Bettis, or Swan story?
I didn't even know he had a Franco one.
Gee, he got all the stories.
And I think I want a Bettis one.
A Bettis one. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Hopefully we get to that today too, man. I was just looking. I was like, man, we've been vibing. All right. Let's go, UW. He says, hell, a retired Ramon Foster could block better than Kendrick Green. Mans was a turnstile and blocking air as usual. I know the clip he's talking about. I'm sorry. Blocking air as usual. I don't know how he stays in the final 53. Y'all got to chill, bro. He was blocking. He won't block in there. He was blocking where he thought the man was going to be. The man just wasn't there anymore. He had left him. It's cool, but he wasn't blocking the air. He was frozen for a little bit. But
it's not like it hasn't happened before where we cut third rounder. I mean, Dree Archer, Saquon's Golson. He was a second rounder, and we got rid of him after a year or two.
It don't matter, man. They do not care. If you're not playing well, they'll look at you now. Yep, and especially when you have a guy in Kevin Dotson where you feel a little bit more comfortable. You feel like, hey, you know, he can help us out. We've started with him before. We feel good about him. So yeah, without a doubt. I mean,
yeah, wouldn't you just want to put LeGlue in as the backup if Dotson went down at this point?
I personally
right?
would.
Or JC?
Based on how LeGlue and how JC played last year, yeah, I would.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see.
We even talked about how last year the O-line did get better when
did.
Yes.
LeGlue.
It was LeGlue, bro. Him and Hassanauer were the center guard
combination.
Seriously?
I thought like the last game or two, the O-line was a little bit better.
Those two guys were the combination because Dotson was hurt by then and Green, he had the calf injury. Remember, it was like, yo, is he really hurt or not? Because he was dressed.
Didn't we put LeGlue at left tackle?
No.
Or was he guard?
He was at guard because Dan Moore was still at left tackle. Yeah,
did Moore get hurt for a game?
I thought he did.
Did we put Haig out there?
It was
maybe
Haig.
Maybe it was Haig.
Because it was like the weird lineup of like Haig, LeGlue, and Hassanauer. Yeah. Yeah, but hopefully it's not going to come to that, all right? Hopefully it's not going to come to that. We'll be all right. Let's go, UW. He says, Mason learned from the school of Big Ben on how to wait a full quarter before showing up in games.
Wow.
Is that a backhanded compliment,
that really
too?
Was.
That
really
geez.
was. Wow.
Yo, y'all are wildin'. I just love to see, like, you know the beauty of this, though? We got, like, the super Ben lovers. We got the super Kenny lovers. And I just love how y'all just go back and forth with each other all the time, man. You got the Mason haters, the Mason supporters, the Mitch haters, the Mitch supporters. Everybody just taking shots backhand. I'm just like, yo, y'all are out of pocket. Then if you don't support this quarterback, you're the hater. If you don't support that quarterback, he the hater. This is beautiful. I love this is why we love competition. I just get to sit back and be like, yeah, all right, we're gonna positive and critique. We're gonna positive and critique, and let y'all y'all go ahead and have at it, man. So shout out to all y'all in there, man. Anywho, let's go. You got Chris Taylor here. Now, did you agree with that, though, in terms of Mason waiting until the last? Because Ben is the comeback king. You said it yourself. Nobody got fourth quarter comebacks like 7. You did say that.
That's a backhanded compliment.
He's the fourth quarter
king. A good quarterback, period.
He's the fourth quarter king. You said that. No one has more 2-minute drill, like 2-minute fourth quarter comeback wins, right? That's what you told me. That was what you said.
He's up there.
So Mason did take a page out of that then.
He clutched up.
Come on, man.
He clutched up.
So he's like a little 7.
I'm not disrespecting 7's first 3 quarters throughout his career.
But the difference is because he's number 2, he's not an upgrade. See that? Kenny's the upgrade because Kenny's number 8. Mason number 2 is like he got a little bit of that, but he ain't have enough of that. See? I'm with you, bro. I'm following you.
I liked how Mason played, though. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen that from Mason. A final drive.
We have not like that.
Close it out. I don't care if it was preseason.
It looked good, bro.
Nice to actually see.
Yeah.
Especially on 4th. It came down to a 4th and 2.
It looked good, bro.
Threw the dot to, who was that, Snead?
Snead. Front, yeah, speed out to the front pylon, man. It kind of looked like
Vaughn
Ben and
was
AB.
making some nice catches.
Yo, Vaughns was doing his thing.
Kind of looks like Martavis out
Swear.
there. Am I wrong?
Okay, I swear.
Am I wrong?
Just he's not as like buff looking when he runs. Like, you know, Tay run like he like he just looked like just like freaky athlete. I think he could go. I want to see him getting a foot race. That's what I want to see, because he looked like he was about to like spray on somebody. I'm like, yo, what you got in there, Tyler? Like, you got that, man? What's up, baby? Let me know. But no, he looked good, man. I definitely like the 2 back-to-back, the 20-yarder, 21 and 25-yarder. It was like identical to last week in a sense, man. Just like seeing him work that stop route. And then even the little slant by the goal line was a nice play by him too, man. Mm-hmm. Wish he would have got in, but smart, you know, not stretching that thing out too much. So definitely like that. All right. Let's see. Where are we at? That's right. We read that one. Chris Taylor. He says, trade Mason Rudolph for any left guard in the NFL.
We're good with Dotson, man. We're good with Dotson. All right. If we want a backup left guard, sure. But no, Dotson's the starter.
And I feel good about my backup left guard if I have J.C. Hassenauer or John LeGlue, because both of those guys have come in at various points in times last season and played there and played well. Like, those guys are good depth guys that you can put out there and sub in. The only reason I feel like with Kendrick Green, why they even moved him out there, was because he was supposed to be the starting center. That was the mindset when they brought him in, and it showed that, hey, man, he can't do this. So then they were like, all right, well, we got to put him somewhere. We just drafted him 3rd round last year. He was a starter. Give him a shot at left guard.
He played guard in college.
You know, and that was it. But it's like, we didn't draft him to play guard. If we drafted him to play guard, we would have drafted him to put him at guard. We drafted him to be the center, and it just didn't work out. So now he's kind of like the person with no home, so to speak, and he's trying to figure out where can he find, you know, a chance to have an NFL career. But we'll see, man. But that's the NFL, bro. Mm-hmm. That's the NFL for you, man. It's one of them things, man. All right. Majd, or M-A-J-D. I don't even know. Is that Majd?
Yeah.
Majd?
Either or.
All right. Just dealer's choice.
Mm-hmm.
He says, how did Minka get snubbed from top 100? He's not on the top 100?
Didn't you say Cam Hayward's 42?
Cam was at 42.
Isn't there like,
it's still
what would it be?
Yeah.
40 left?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think
he's probably on there. He's usually in the 20 or 30 range. Yeah.
And he plays one of the sexy positions. You know, it's sexy enough where they're, oh, yeah, look at the highlight plays. Whereas, like, Kim is not as a sexy of a position unless you're Aaron Donald, apparently, or Jeffrey Simmons or Chris Jones, you know. Those guys get a little bit more love, but I get it.
Yeah, there's no way the players are going to disrespect Minka like that.
Yeah, can't do that, bro. Not Mink. All right, official momentum. Now we caught up to you, baby.
Is this it?
Yes.
All right, hold on.
Hopefully they didn't jump on you again, now.
Computer went to sleep. Nope, we're here.
Oh, hey, now.
He said, Deke, you found a new member to your unknown band.
What was the name of it? You know.
No, I'm just not.
Can I tell you the truth, though, Deke?
Nope.
You low-key almost said the name, too, when we were at dinner. Not with Dom. When me and you went to dinner after golf, you said what it begins with, and I heard it. And part of me was about to go and just start searching those couple of letters and seeing if I could find it, but I ain't want to do that.
Huh.
But just know that I heard the beginning of it because you slipped up. You caught yourself, but you definitely said the beginning. Absolutely. And I was like, oh.
I don't think I was trying to keep it from you. I was just probably going on a rant.
Yeah, you was like, yo, but
I was just talking. Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay.
We were talking music at the time.
Yeah,
so I was probably.
But you won't tell me the name. You haven't even told me the name off the air. I tell you a lot off the air. You don't never tell me the name off the air. That's crazy, Deke. I thought we was friends, man. It's nuts.
I think I've invited you to one or
Deke,
two shows.
You have, and I was gonna go to one, and that's when Shonda's aunt passed away, and that's why we ended up not being able to go. Yeah, because I was gonna pull up. Absolutely, man. I want to roll. I like support the homies, man. I was talking to TG earlier. I was like, yo, let me know, because he's coaching.
Okay.
Yeah, he's coaching. So I'm like, yo, let me know your schedule, man. I can't pull up because he's down in Florida. But I'm like, yo, if it's a game online, like I'm gonna watch it. Talk to Vince, like, yo, Vinny, man, what's the schedule? I'm pulling up. So I'm a supporter. I support mine, all right? So yeah, man, I would love to, bro.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, you know me. I got your back.
Yeah, I don't even remember that part of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I probably would have just dropped it. Maybe I was just on a little bit of a ramble and just kept going.
I forgot what we were talking. Like, we were definitely
talking music. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're talking about like the band, like the amount of members.
Band
we were talking about like, yeah, like
right.
If it's like multiple instruments, the practice dynamic, and just like learning songs, how it's a little bit of a process and stuff. But
right.
Yeah, man.
Camo Kid.
My little bro.
He says the 1-800 Gambler song for the win.
You already know what we on, baby. Salute you. Man, I miss you too, bro. We got to link up, man. I'm tired of this.
How about this one? Official momentum. Gambler remix featuring Deke and Ambition.
Oh, Oh, now y'all trying. Now y'all can't hop on my gambler song. Now, no.
I don't want to. Admission can maybe throw something in there, though.
I'm a solo act.
Okay. I don't blame you.
I don't do features. All right.
Listen, I don't blame you.
I don't do features.
You put your stamp on that song.
Yes. You know, it's mine. I did that.
Solo 1. LOL. Moats' new nickname is Randy Watson.
Randy Watson. I'm scared to even ask if you know what that reference is to what movie that's from. I'm scared. Because I'm gonna ask it, and it's a icon. It's one of the movies, Deke, where I'm gonna say it, and I guarantee 85% of the chat is gonna know what the movie is, or have seen it, or have at least heard of it. I'm just scared, Deke, that you're gonna be like, I've never heard of it, and we're gonna have that moment, like, huh?
Well, I've never heard of Randy Watson, so unless it's a movie. So and I've watched it, and I just didn't recognize the characters or remember the names.
Have you heard of the movie Coming to America?
I have.
Thank God. Okay, say no more. You don't have to talk anything else about it.
He's
a character with it.
I have not seen it.
It's okay, but you at least heard of it. You have at least heard of it, and that I can live with that. You've at least heard of it. Whew.
Eddie Murphy, correct?
Yes, Arsenio Hall. Look at you go! Come on, man! Like, awesome. That's enough. You said enough. Don't do anything else. You're good. You're good.
I mean, I got about 3 or 4 movies I still even got to watch before
I would
that.
Agree. I would agree. But
no promises if I ever get to it.
Yeah, because remember we talked about Friday.
Yeah, never got to it yet.
Friday and Coming to America. Those are
Wasn't Titanic up there too?
But more so for cultural purposes. Friday and Coming to America. Titanic is dope. It's a dope movie, but it's a different vibe. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But yo, you got Friday. Oh my God, you the man though, Deke. I don't care what no one says. You the man.
All right. Najee Laupak. I always have amazing questions for y'all from the game. Only thing is, I watched the game blasted and don't remember diddly squat. Anyways.
You got to write it down, bro.
Y'all coming to the Miami game, taking my bro for his 21st.
Oh, yo, that's dope, bro. That is dope. I am not going to be at Miami thus far. That's where I'm at with it. Just because, like I said, for me, man, I felt like I could do a lot more from the house and still produce content, but also be able to be with my family more, which is important to yours truly. So I won't. Deke, though, on the hand.
Who knows?
Who knows? Deke might be out there.
I'm not going to make promises one way or
Deke
another.
definitely might be out there. Okay.
Moneybags. Steele looked good with the second team over Lane. Lane got that pick, though.
He did. Shout out to Rondell.
Kind of was throw right to him.
But you know why? Because Rondell Carter had the pressure. And who is Rondell Carter? Rondell Carter, former JMU Dukes. You seen that, man. You seen what that man did. He go out there, he makes plays. 2 weeks in a row, my man out there making plays. He went out there, forced the errant pass, Justin Lane. But Justin Lane, bro, if you got to get your vision checked, bro, all you got to do is stay on the right, and you were running this to the crib, pick 6. He trying to go up in there. Who he thought he was, bro? Like, I don't get it. But Rondell, man, shout out to the dog, Rondell, man.
That pick saved my Pittsburgh parlay.
I saw you tweet something about
that
it. That
Pirates game was unreal. I bet that. I think it was tied, so I got pretty much even odds. But then I obviously parlayed that with the Steelers money line. So it was like $10 to win 40 or something like that. The Pirates game was insane.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Steelers game, how it ended. So I had 2 heart attack type of games to win that parlay. Yeah. It was worth it though.
Nah, facts.
Mason came through. I forget who even hit in the winning. Was it Chavis or something? I don't even know his name. Yeah, he hit it in for the Pirates. Yeah. So Pittsburgh parlay.
Let's go.
Never fails to succeed. Sometimes it fails. I'm sorry.
I'm about to say, don't you go ahead and sell the people that dream.
It comes around more on the positive side than the negative, though.
Yeah.
All right, chat jumped on me again.
All right, where you at?
Sean McCartney. We got a lot of chats, huh? Do you even see him?
I'm trying to see. Oh, no. All right, we're not too far from you. Well, we are kind of far, but not crazy far. All right, let me see where. And, of course, God dang. All right, hold on. I'm going to find this.
Should we pivot the strategy for today? Potentially?
It's a strong possibility that we're going to be tabling a lot of this and carrying it over to Wednesday's show. Strong possibility, but that is the beauty of it being regular season, or not regular season just yet, but us in this mode. We're always 3 shows per week, so whatever we don't get today, we'll just carry it over to Wednesday's show, so no worries. We'll be good. All right. Real question is, though, because I do want them phone lines.
Okay. I was going to say, because we could... What if we ran through the super chat and saved the phone lines for Wednesday?
Let's do that.
Or it could be opposite. I mean, we would just save all the super chats.
Because these people are in the moment right now.
Sure.
And people are still gonna have stuff they want to go off their chest on Wednesday, anywho. So we could be all right.
Sure.
We'll hit it like that. You know what I'm saying? And this is a good problem to have.
Because what's your time? What time you got to roll here?
Listen, man, we're gonna get through it.
Okay.
We'll get through the supers. We'll table the phone until Wednesday. All right, and then we'll be good like that.
Okay.
Because that's the biggest thing. We're obviously talking about the game organically through all this, so this is dope. I might have a couple things here or there that I want to particularly hit on, and if I don't get it today, I could easily hit it on Wednesday.
Sure.
Or I could just stop and start talking about it right now.
Well, I want to talk Mark Robinson. I'm not even gonna.
Because I want to talk linebackers. I got to talk Robert Spillane.
Okay, that works.
Yeah. So.
Goes hand in hand.
Yeah. All right. So you know what? Because the chat's already jumped anyways.
Yeah.
So it's no point in me rushing through this just to get the chat to jump again when we start talking. So we'll start talking right now. So you want to go with Mark Robinson? You got to start first, man.
I thought he looked good out there. I mean, there's no doubt with him that he cares.
Mm-hmm.
Not afraid to get in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Laying the wood. Some big hits. And it didn't seem like, I know we talked about with the Seahawks game in terms of coverage with them. You didn't think it was capability. It was just more miscommunication.
Fatigue and miscommunication.
I don't remember any coverage mishaps with him in this game. I rewatched it. I could be wrong. My eyes could be deceiving me. But you combine that with, I mean, anytime these dudes Jaguars were trying to run the ball, I mean, he was in the mix, making tackles at the line of scrimmage, some tackles for loss, and the big hits. So, like, he's flying all over the field. You could see his athleticism. Yeah. I'm just wondering, I mean, does he have a chance to start at some point this year, get some legitimate reps? Because you compare him to what we've been seeing with, like, Devin Bush and, like, even Robert Spillane. I thought Robert Spillane played fine, but you could see Mark Robinson has a different level or a different upside to him if he could somehow pull this all together.
No, man, I like that, man. Mark definitely played well. I thought leaving out of that game, I thought that he was probably the third best guy on the field at that position. I thought that Miles Jack played the best of the group. I thought Robert Spillane was number 2 in that group. And to me, it was close between Devin and Mark. I just thought Mark was more productive. Like, at the end of the day,
Devin didn't play bad.
He didn't play bad, but it wasn't the productivity. When you look at Spillane, when you look at Mark Robinson, you look at Miles Jack, all three of them dudes were super productive. So once again, it's like, man, when we're watching certain plays, like, bro, these guys are making plays. Y'all all in the same positions, but they're making the plays. I definitely like Mark Robinson a lot, though. I thought this week he looked more comfortable. He looked like he was calm. He looked like it was his second game out there. First game. Sometimes when it's your first time in NFL stadium, your heart is beating through your chest. You start thinking fast. You start not thinking when you get tired. So all of that played into it. The miscommunication between him and Buddy Johnson last week. You didn't see a lot of that this week. It was a lot better communication as a whole with all three linebacker groups. When it was Miles and Devin, when it was Miles and Spillane, when it was Robert and Devin, when it was Mark Robinson, then it was Buddy Johnson and Robert Spillane, then it was Mark Robinson and Robert Spillane, then it was Mark and Buddy together. So looking at all of those, I thought all the communication across the board was good. Some of these crossing routes I thought was really good. Some of the plays that I'm going to highlight with Robert Spillane, when I do a little film session on him in coverage, you can see the communication, the details, and how sticky he was in certain elements, not just versus running backs, not just versus tight ends, but versus wide receivers as well, because I know that's this narrative. He can't cover. He's slow. He's all this other stuff. So it's like, man, all right, I'm just looking at the tape. The tape was showing me what the tape was showing me. So we'll see. But to me, man, Mark Robinson, I think that he has a chance to start at some point in time this year. I just think it's one of those things where it's going to depend on what the guys in front of him are doing. If it's Devin Bush out there, well, they're not going to go Devin and just bunny hop Robert Spillane. It'll be Devin, then Robert. So you would need both of those guys to play bad or somebody go down.
Not something we're looking for.
Whereas for Mark, I think that Mark, early on, we should feel his presence immediately on special teams. I think that should be the first thing that I'm feeling from him, punt, kickoff, coverage-wise, right? But then, because think about Vince Williams. We could feel Vince's impact on special teams before he even got on defense. It was like, yo, he's a dude. Okay, Mark, you should.
That's where Debo made his lane too.
All of us do. All of us got to come in. I had to get tackles on kickoff. I got games where Buffalo was like, yo, okay, this is when they had 4 tackles, 3 tackles, all right, 2 and 4. So it was like, yo, we all got to do it. You can't get to defense without playing on special teams and being a producer on special teams, unless you're one of these first-round draft picks. Mark isn't one of those guys. So. But the thing with Mark that I do like is his athletic ability. He's rangy. And that was something that we saw with him. We was like, yo, we could be a kid. That was on his tape. Question is, okay, can he do it consistently? Can he match some of the matchup cover stuff? Can he do those things? But he showed in this game against the Jags when he's a little bit subtle, when he's out there and he's not thinking too much and he could just play. He's more than capable of that. But I also thought that for me, Robert Spillane made me feel extremely comfortable watching his performance out there against the run, against the pass, against tight ends, running backs, receivers, zone, man. I'm like, bro, everything that people just casually say about him negative, I'm like, man, why does this show up on tape then? And that's my whole like issue with it. It's like, man, he can't be this, and this. And Devin continues to get these opportunities when I'm looking at both. And I'm like, well, man, he's doing the things that y'all say he can't do. And he's still being productive. And he's out there with the same people that Devin is out there with.
I think the thing with Robert Spillane is the criticism was warranted for him in last preseason and when he got in the regular season. But now, based off these 2 preseason games,
you can't say that.
I thought he played pretty good.
Right. When people bring it up, it's like, yo, you're not watching anything from this year. You're clearly just in the past. You're living in the past right now. And that's the purpose of the film session. I was going to show some of that stuff. Because to me, Spillane has taken a huge step in terms of how much he's gotten better in his coverage. Talk about the speed part. Man, it's a clip with him and Christian Kirk running, hauling tail across the field. He's step for step with this dude. Yeah, I've seen Christian Kirk in person. That was my teammate in AZ. I know what he looked like. So to me, I'm just like, man, I hear all this, but man, Spillane is showing each and every week he's a productive player. He's a consistent player. He's a player that you can trust. At the end of the day, what are we looking for? You know? So that's kind of like my energy with that, man. And like I said, Devin didn't play bad, not at all. But it's no productivity to that. I thought the first drive, it was his most productive drive that we've seen from him in a while. You know?
His tackles weren't that impactful.
They weren't.
That's the problem.
It was just stat tackles. It wasn't like impact tackles. It was, okay, you chased it over here, but at least you got it on the tackle. And that's a Devin Bush compliment because prior to that, it was,
we shouldn't be having these compliments for Devin Bush. We can't be saying,
thank you.
He didn't look that bad. Or he played all right.
Thank you. But that's what we do when we talk about him and we criticize the heck out of Robert Spillane. Why is that?
We can't be doing that anymore.
But make that make sense. Why do we will give those type of compliments to Devin? Oh, man, he jumped on the tackle. That's good. But for Spillane, it's like, yo, he got to go above and beyond just to be like, all right, we respect it. I don't understand that. Like, at this stage in both of their careers, man, who's the productive player right now? We're seeing the same stuff. Who's the productive player? Who's making tackles? Who's not? Who's doing what they're supposed to do in coverage and who's not? And that's my biggest thing when we're talking about those 2 players. I know it's not popular. I know it's not something where we're like, oh, no.
It just sucks to admit we traded up in the first round to get this guy.
And I feel you on all that.
Undrafted. Was he an undrafted rookie?
He seemed like it to me, but it's just like, bro, when you watch the tape, I don't care about a person's personal opinion. I don't care about a fan's opinion. What I care about is what that tape shows me. Because that doesn't lie to me. That has no feeling. That has no emotion. That has no biasness. That just is. And for me, I love that. I don't care about the opinions. I don't care who likes who and who offends who and stuff like that. It's like, bro, when you cut the tape on, who's making the plays? That's all. And to me, 41 makes a lot of plays these first 2 preseason games. So
that's something you weren't even expecting coming.
I was not.
Because you thought preseason was going to be.
I thought it would be a struggle for him.
Type of games, right?
Absolutely. But he looked way better, way faster, way more confident. And trust me, dudes do get better. When you talk about guys surviving in this league, there weren't high-end picks, there weren't ultra athletes. Spillane isn't a first-round draft pick. Spillane isn't a great athlete, right? But you look at how hard that man works on and off the field. You look at the development. We're seeing it. And that's the stuff for me where it's like, I get draft positions. I get, what we invested in all this stuff. But how many years removed are we from that type of stuff?
That's just why it feels bad. But at the same time, you just got to get to the point of like, who's going to be the better guy for this season, right?
That when you cut the tape, boy, one player makes plays, the other has not. One player is not just in position; he's actually shooting his gun and attacking. You look at the play.
Yeah, I think the huge advantage is in the run game.
I would agree.
What we're seeing, I think. But obviously, you're right. Spillane has improved his coverage. So if we're not losing in Spillane's coverage, it's like, what are we doing? Because Devin Bush usually on these run plays, you're seeing him about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Okay, y'all can call me a hater all you want about
I'm
whatever. I'm
right?
just, my energy. I don't care about the bias stuff. I'm just a tape guy. And the tape is showing what the tape is showing. Spillane has been the more productive player. Spillane has been the better player through these 2 games. Hate me, love it. It is what it is. The tape, that's what it is. Don't get mad with me. Get mad with the players. You know what I mean? If he plays better, then he's the guy. And when I watch 41 and I watch 55, it's like, bro, one is making a lot more plays than the other. And the knock on one was supposed to be he's not fast, not athletic, but I'm cutting on tape and I'm watching him do these quote unquote
maybe that's
things
why Madden
he can't
gave
do.
him an 88 speed or whatever.
I'm watching him. Deke, bro. This is how like
maybe Madden knew.
Deke, you remember when I told you I was on one? This is how much I was on one last night, bro. As I'm cutting up these plays, I call my wifey sitting next to me in bed. I call my oldest KK. She don't even care about football. Like I said, baby girl, come here real quick. I put on 2 plays. I said, look at this player with 55. Tell me what you think. She's like, all right. I mean, it's kind of close. All right. Then I showed her to play 41. Drag, run with him. I said, all right, what you think about that? She's like, no, that's a good play right there. I was like, who do you think was faster right here? Said, oh, definitely this dude. So who do you think is the better cover guy? If you're talking about just covering a guy, who do you think is better? Definitely this dude. I'm like, huh. That's Spillane, though. I was like, well, who do you think is the slower player? This one or him? So, listen, babe, wifey, who you think? We all watching the same thing.
Did a survey.
I'm just like, yo, I'm like, maybe I'm tripping.
No,
that's what the tape says, though.
No, I think
I
we
just
are
look at
all
the
saying
tape.
the same thing because
Tape,
it goes back to I don't think Devin Bush played bad. It was like
an
improvement from last week, but
yeah,
what is that really saying?
Yeah,
we can't keep saying that. This wasn't a bad game or this was okay. We're not looking for that.
I be sitting here and I'm just like, I get.
It's cool if it's a one-off.
Like, at what point do we say, okay, maybe this guy needs this type of motivation? Maybe that motivation is we just move on and allow this guy to get this opportunity. Like, when I'm watching, I'm just like, yo, am I tripping here? I'm looking at this stuff. I'm like, bro, where am I off? Where am I missing with what he's shown this year in these 2 games?
I'm ready to move on to Mark Robinson.
Fair enough, man.
But Spillane, no, you're right. In terms of just, he didn't give up any big plays. Mm-hmm. And in covers, I think the one wasn't a zone drop. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't even necessarily his fault that it got completed, but he was right there.
I wanted to break that down as well because eyes in depth. You watch his drop you watch his drop and watch how fast he gets out of it, even compared to a Miles Jack. And this was one of the ones from Miles where I'm like, bro, you got to read that a little bit faster. But once again, it's playing. I'm like, okay. And then it was one play where the ball was caught on his side, and I think Akello forced him out. And I was like, I know somebody gonna look and say, "Oh, Spillane, that was his man." Absolutely not. It was not his man.
How about Akello though?
Yeah, Akello good.
Some physicality.
Absolutely, I like Akello, man.
The stuff that he was knocked on earlier in his career.
It was.
He's
I'm liking the
making some
physicality.
tackles.
No, I definitely like that with his game though.
Again, have
man.
yet to see him get burned.
Fair enough.
I've yet to see him get burned.
Fair enough,
so
man.
Hopefully that keeps going.
Fair enough, man. Hey, we're gonna need them all, baby. Let's roll. No, I like it though, man. I definitely like it.
You got me excited about Spillane. I mean, I thought he played good, but now you're getting me thinking, all right, we could roll with him with Miles Jack and be fine.
When I got done last night, I said, yep, if it's Spillane and Miles Jack, we are completely fine.
Wow.
That's where I was
Forget a
with
trade.
That's where I was
Roquan
with
Smith
it.
who?
I'm just saying that's where I was with it in the sense of like, yes, if you get a Roquan is a major upgrade, but I already said Roquan would be our best linebacker over Miles Jack.
We don't have to give up a pick or pay him.
But in the sense of if we're
bucks.
talking about this year, because as we've said on numerous occasions, when you're building a roster, you're not going to have all pros at every position. You're not going to have Pro Bowlers at every position. You're going to have some really good players, but you're also going to have what? You're going to have some role players. You're going to have some guys that maybe they're not great at everything, but you get this consistently from this player. And as long as you get this and you pair it with this and this, you can win with that. When I look at Spillane, I'm like, bro, you can win with this. This is consistency. It maybe isn't as beautiful. It's not the high end that we might have wanted, but I'd rather have this consistency here than 1 week is here, 1 week is here. Or it's a lot of weeks down here, a couple plays where we're right here. I can't win with that. I can't trust that. And that's the difference.
Is
not popular, but
any other players or things you wanted to hit on? Like we already hit on Edmonds, Casey.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks, line we talked.
No, Deontay. Definitely liked him a lot, bro.
Look good.
He looked
just
good,
don't drop that one over on the sideline. That's all.
I would agree.
But
I thought he looked good though, man. I thought he looked good. The push off was a little ticky tack in my opinion. I think when they slowed it down, he was like tripping or whatever. But to me, I still like the catch, and I thought that Deontay was showing good confidence with his hands. The one in the end zone, I like that one a lot, man. Beating it was just a little skinny post or whatever, man. But I love that right there from him, and that's what he's definitely more than capable of doing. But to me, the play that is Deontay was when he was about to take that slant and split it. The one from Kenny,
I thought he had it,
bro. That's the one. That's what Deontay is capable of. That I was like, okay, I like that. Felt good. That felt real. It felt like wide receiver one.
That's what could have happened last year with that Ben pass to Deontay across the middle. I thought he was going to take that slant to the house. Went through his hands. Gotta chill. I'm not wrong, though, on that. Because there was no one behind him. There was no one behind him.
Why? I don't even know how you even spent that back to 7 right there. God dang, Deke,
that's what that slant reminded me of. No, that's what that slant reminded me of.
I don't know how you spent that back there, but you were good.
Damn, I'm glad it's going in a good direction now.
Deke, I need you. I need friends in my life that support me the way you support 7. That's what I need. I'm gonna call my friends right now. I'm pissed with them. They don't spin the block for me like how you just spin. I don't know how you just did that there, Deke, but I love it. I love it.
I'm just cutting up the tape. That's all. It's what I see on the field. That's what I see. I'm glad Deontay made an improvement from the Chiefs game. It was like the exact same slant route.
Fair enough.
It might have been flipped. It might have been other side of the field, but I saw the exact same thing happening if he would have caught that against the Chiefs. But they're Jaguars looked like they had a defender there that might have. It would have been a foot. It would have
been a foot race.
Whereas Chiefs, there was no one there.
Yeah,
I think it would have been house call.
But Chiefs, they were playing disrespectful. They were like, "Yeah, we don't believe in that they could do anything." So that's why there was nobody back there. Whereas in this scenario, this is a compliment to Kenny. It's a compliment to Kenny. They were like, "Hey, Kenny might be able to hurt us, so we're gonna have a little extra help there." That's good. That's good for Kenny though, man. Shout out to Kenny, bro.
Well,
and he deserves that. Kenny definitely has shown that he can.
That felt more like disrespect to Ben, but Ben proved that, hey, you guys shouldn't be in this coverage because I'm going to make this really nice pass on a slant route, and we're going to house this.
Yeah.
Didn't work out that way, though.
What happened after that? Did we do it again? I was trying to think if we came back to it. We did, though, right? No.
There was another drop in that game.
Man, why you keep bringing up these drops? You got to chill, man. Stop.
I like Deontay, too. I don't know why I'm
Listen,
belaboring
I'm about to say,
why
are you doing this to Deontay? Are you
no, I like Deontay. No.
Don't be a Deontay hater up here, okay, man? We like Deontay.
No.
We like all the guys. Jeez.
I was saying we should resign him. I was all
you
for it.
You came up with the deal. You were the first. I never heard anyone say give him a 2 for, would you say 2, give him about 18 a year? No one ever said
2 or 3, 17 or 18.
We never heard anyone say that until you did. I'm giving you that. It makes the most sense you said that, absolutely. And I even was like, I don't know if he'd agree to it, but we cool. But yo, yeah, that shout out to you, man. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, so enough with the Deontay. Hey, yeah. I'm done with that.
All right. So, were there any other, let me think, particular players that I need to speak on off the top of my head right now? I think that is it. I just need my dog Boz not to miss any more field goals.
Yeah,
I ain't like that. Yeah, I was not a fan of that. Cat throw it out there, bro. You missed the field goal and then you barely hit the extra point. I'm like, bro, Boz.
I don't think that went in. I still don't think it went in.
Thank you, Deke. I promise I thought he missed it, bro.
I don't think it went in.
I was like, yo, he doesn't hit this. Even on the replay, I'm like, yo, he didn't make this field goal, bro. Okay, I'm not tripping.
I don't think he made it.
I'm not tripping. Okay, because I was definitely like, yo, I don't think he
hit least the first one was 53. I didn't realize it was that far.
Yeah. It didn't hit the upright.
I thought it was like a 40.
No, it was 43. I thought he said.
No, it was 53. Because whenever I watched it again today,
okay,
it was 53 on
that. Yeah, because I know on the bracket they said 43, but you're right. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, dude,
at least upright, it was long. Hit the upright. Yeah, it was slight drawing. But yeah, that extra point, he was just off.
It was not
just
a good one.
Don't let that contract get to your head.
Oh, Lord. It was not a good one, man. I'm trying to think, man. Do we have anything else? Let me think of. Oh. How are you on this ball security stuff? We had 2 on the ground, right?
Gunner.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, it was Gunner. Who's the other one?
Mateo, but he recovered his. When he was running through the hole, like bounce down.
I don't think he's making the team.
Yeah.
Gunner. Yeah, you don't want to see that from an all-pro return man. I guess you give him the benefit of the doubt because he's been pretty damn good in his NFL career up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't make too much of it.
For sure. Yeah, I think, like you said, man, with Mateo, it's unfortunate. I think that Jaylen Warren has clearly separated himself from him. And what Benny Snell and Anthony McFarland have been able to do, I don't see a lot of room for him.
Yeah.
With Gunner, I think he's all right. Gunner, man, he low-key was out. He was about to make something special happen, too.
That was a sick play.
It was. I hated the call. I hated the call. And then it's more so like the execution of it. But then to see Gunner I hate it. I'm like, yo, why are we going to go jet? Like, don't go jet sweep right here, bro. Like,
I thought you were talking about, I think there was a penalty on that play too, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just declined.
But it's like, yo, why don't give it to jet sweep. Like, let's run a legit, like, play. Like, I want to, you know how that go. That's more like gimmicky. Like, you're trying to trick a dude. And now from there, where you don't get the block like you need, now we over here like, oh, God, make something happen. But, yeah, I think we'll be good with that, though. Gonna be straight. Gonna better protect the ball.
Yeah, just don't do it again.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to run through these supers. You ready, man?
Yeah.
All right. I'll probably take a sip since I doubt you are anywhere close.
I'm still at that Sean McCartney.
Yeah, not anywhere close then.
So wherever that is.
And here we go. Rich Rasmussen. Deke, when Kenny makes his first Pro Bowl, I will buy a Kenny Pickett Pitt jersey. We'll send pics for proof. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
All right. I like that. Maybe he make it this year. Mac Jones made one last year.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow got a Pro Bowl in there.
Yeah.
These are all the guys that we're talking about Kenny being, comps to and stuff like that. So why can't Kenny do the same thing?
That's what I'm saying.
All right. Kyle Montier, he says, words from the great Trey Exik. Shout out to Trey. Man, I ain't seen Trey in a minute, bro. He says, via Twitter, we will make the playoffs with Trubisky. We will win Super Bowls with Pickett. Never forget the 7 sabotage. Trey Exik ain't say the 7 sabotage. You said the 7 sabotage. I ain't tripping on that. No. He tried to slip that on in there. But no, I do like it. I'm with you, man. I see the quotation parts.
And quote after
see, I was like, wait a minute. Don't you try that, man. Don't you try that.
Essex must listen to Big Deke News.
It's something, man. You heard him, right?
I like that. That's a good little tweet right there. That's a good one.
Man. Hey, man, I love it. This time of year, all that stuff sounds good, man. I'm just glad that we're going to get a chance to actually see games. And that's my biggest thing. Like, I'm not a speculation dude. I hate the speculation stuff. But now that we got games, it's like, we don't have to speculate. We don't have to wonder, can a player do this or not do this? It's like, we get a chance to see them in these situations. We get a chance to see them in live action. And then it kind of tells the picture for us. It tells the truth for us. All right. Black Hillbilly 1969. Excuse me on that. Kenny Socks Pickett. Is that his nickname?
No, someone made that up.
Oh, okay.
He might have been the one that made that up.
Gotcha, yeah. Kenny, and he was like, all caps, Kenny Socks Pickett is getting better. It's like asking for a bike at Christmas, but getting socks instead. You need them, but not what you asked for. Ooh.
What?
That's a different analogy. I wanted the bike, you gave me socks. I'm pissed, but I need socks, so I wear my socks every day.
So he's saying he didn't want the Pickett pick.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people didn't want the Pickett
He's not
pick.
the hero that we wanted. He's the hero that we need, though. That's what he is.
Sure.
Yeah, man. Come on now. Something like that, at least. Sound good.
It works for me.
Hey, man, it all works. Something like that. All right, David Dupree. Shout out DD Smalls. He says, hey, my guys, hit that like button, everyone. Definitely do that. Do not waste time on that. If you haven't hit the like button, what you doing? I mean, we 2.5 in this thing,
Yeah.
We give you a little extra right now. You know what I'm saying? Hit the thing. Appreciate y'all either way, though. Red Gonzalez says, there is no way Deke thinks this O-line would help Kenny. The only QB that can take this O-line to the Super Bowl is Prime Ben. Why put Kenny out there?
I think he can make it work.
I think Kenny is better than Prime Ben.
No.
That's what he just said.
No, I'm not
Because
agreeing with
he
that.
said Prime Ben could take this to the Super Bowl.
I agree
and
with
you
that.
You said that Kenny could do it too, so Kenny is better. I got the math. I'm with you.
It ain't like that. No.
Why are you hating on
twisting
Kenny?
my word.
Are you being a Kenny hater? Are you a Kenny hater, yes or no? You're coming off like a Kenny hater right now, bro. Are you sure? Because if you're a Kenny hater, I'm going to tell people you're a Kenny hater.
I think Kenny can make it work with the line.
You want to put it in the chat?
If Canada can do some of those adjustments you were talking about for Pickett, if he could be on his P's and Q's throughout the regular season, Kenny can make it work.
Fair enough.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you believe him at Canada though? That's the other question, because that's the other part of this thing now.
We'll find out. He's our only hope right now, because the whole sabotage that happened last year was because of him. So I mean, he's all we got. I'm not thrilled about it. But I guess you just leave some room for growth with him.
Fair enough.
Hopefully he can get it done. And supposedly he's got his quarterback now.
He does,
or just some type of mobile quarterback for his system. We have to give him a chance.
Yeah.
He's been handpicked by Tomlin.
The chosen one.
We have to. But yeah, he's got a year. That's it.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, Jay Hall. He says, that whole left side of the O-line is horrible. Dan Moore and Kendrick Green played like revolving doors. They turned sideways and let them through. Yeah, fundamentally, they could be a lot better. I know it was a couple where you get a little head dipping and stuff like that, little feet stopping. But that's a legit D lineman they face down there now. That's a legit D line. Those players are really good. That's my only thing. We will see though. Still, just give them some time. I don't think you write them off just yet. I do think that they can get better. I think that it's going to take some work, but I think it's not just them. I think schematically, you got to do some things to help them as well. It's kind of like if you're going into a game and you know AB is the receiver over there. Are you going to go and ask your corner to play AB single? No. Regardless of how good or not good you think that corner is, you're not going to ask him to try to guard one of the best receivers in their prime solo. You're going to say, yo, let me give you some help. I just think in a regular season game, when you're talking about this O-line, they're not going to leave those guys out to dry like that. They're going to do certain things to help those dudes out. And that's the part of the preseason where we talk about no game plan. I talked about it in the sense for Spillane when we were coming into these games, just anticipating what it could be. Now, he's proven me wrong there. Offensively, it's the same thing, though. Offensively, it's not a lot of game planning. They're not scheming a ton of, hey, this guy right here is a problem matchup-wise. Let's get a guy over here for that. They're like, nah, we're just running our sets. We're trying to get our plays on tape. We want to see who can come out here and execute, who can do just the routine things, who can do the fundamental things. That's what they're looking for in the preseason. So it's not a lot of that schematic stuff. And in the regular season game, when that is introduced, this O-line will be better because of that. But it's just one of them situations where you kind of just wrote them out there to the wolves, literally.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Cameron Sensing. There we go. Cameron Sensing. Excuse me for that. I butchered the heck out of it. He says, when been seeing him thrown out there in terms of Isaiah, when you brought him up
right,
in terms of the potential trade rumors and stuff like that. Yep. My biggest thing with that is I don't know if he's a legitimate upgrade over Dan Moore consistently. That's my only hang up with that. And when you're talking about giving up something for him, not a fan of that. Q says, I'm late, but shout out to Deke.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, man, got to salute the homie. Come on now, bro. Lou Boy says, Mitch was the best QB on roster. Mitch moved the ball despite being sacked, being chased, no time in pocket, no run game, and a PI against Johnson. Brings up a good point. I mean, there's a lot of adversity that Mitch did face, and a lot of people, we kind of like lose sight of some of that, man. And it's one of those things that when you're talking about QB competitions and comparisons, all this stuff is used in context. But at times, yeah, some of this stuff does get overlooked because when we're praising another quarterback or trying to make our case for another guy, absolutely, like it's a lot that goes into some of this stuff, man. But Mitch definitely played well, though, 100%, man. All right, Jason Wood. He says, y'all hear Ramon Foster on DK Live yesterday? Great insight on O-line. I'll take the word of former players over jabronis who claim to watch tape. LOL. I'm with you on that, baby. 100%. All right. Lieutenant Dan's legs. My friend. Well, hello there. It's great to see you on the YouTube side. He's one of our Twitter folk, too, when we do one of the radio shows, stuff like cool. That. Yeah, I just love his name, Lieutenant Dan's legs, because I'm a Forrest Gump. You have seen the movie Forrest Gump, right?
No.
You are aware of the movie Forrest Gump, though, right?
Yeah. I told you I've not seen a lot of classics out there. Forrest Gump, Titanic.
Jesus.
Couple of them.
Okay. Well, Lieutenant Dan's
obviously
legs.
Friday.
That's a staple in the movie Forrest Gump. If you watch it, you'll never forget Lieutenant Dan nor his legs. Okay? That's all. But Lieutenant Dan's leg says, who's looking good for the final wide receiver spot?
Boykin.
Yo, he did have another one, huh? He had another game.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, Vaughns looks good, too.
I like Vaughns a lot, bro.
Who else is out there? I mean, Anthony Miller kind of screwed himself by getting hurt.
Steven Sims?
Yeah, right. Him, too.
He's another one.
It's Boykin, though.
You think so?
I think he brings the differential factor or the differentiating factor to the table of his size that none of the other receivers have.
Yeah.
Where he could replace someone like a Claypool or Pickens if they get hurt. That's what I was saying a couple podcasts ago.
Fair enough.
And he's been good.
No, he
That's
definitely
the other
has,
thing. He's performed.
The hands catching, like you see that. And for him, he's obviously a special teams guy as well. So you do have some options with that. Yeah. Man, I'm not.
We're talking about the sixth guy right now. I'm assuming we're not cutting Calvin Austin, even though he hasn't been playing in these preseason games.
He'll be fine. To me,
Calvin Austin, we're keeping Gunner.
It's just Tyler Vaughn. I don't know if I keep Tyler over Miles Boykin. That's my big, like, I'm enjoying what I see from Tyler.
I'd like to see what he could do down the line, but could we lose him maybe?
You definitely could. The other thing I think of is this, man. When I think of those two dudes, if neither one are my top 3 or top 4 receivers, who gives me more on special teams right now, I do think is Miles. That's my only, like, if I'm having to decide. I saw Trina Still Diva. Shout out to her. She brought up Cody White. He's another guy. He's been a staple here for a little while now. 2 years now? He's been hanging on, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. He done made some. He done catch. He done caught one from your guy. He caught a pass from your guy. He's a Ben guy.
What, last week?
Last year. He's a Ben guy.
Oh, man. I don't remember. Was it eventful?
I mean, no, it was the Bengals game, I think it was. You know how that turned. The first one.
Oh, man.
Yeah, when we found out about the island. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's going to be making the team.
No, man, but yeah, I don't think Cody is going to do it right now just because, like, I think that Steven Sims has been more productive. I think Miles Boykin and definitely Tyler Vaughns, all three have been more productive in stadium. And I just think when you're talking about that 6 receiver spot, you start splitting hairs. You say, okay, who gives me special teams? All right, well, Miles probably has the best there because Steven Sims, we said as a return man, he's dope, but we already have a return man. You know what I mean? So now you're looking at, okay, what's the next thing? How do they separate? And for me, I think that Cody, of the group of the Tyler Vaughn, Steven Sims, and Miles Boykin, I think Cody has done the least amount in stadium. Not saying that he hasn't still been playing well in terms of like practice and stuff like that, but in stadium productivity matters. And those 3 guys, we've felt their impact at various points these first 2 weeks. Tyler Vaughn's in a major way, Steven Sims in a major way, and then Miles Boykin in a big way as well. So that's my only thing with that.
If I had to bet money, I'd say Boykin.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. All right. Jay Blanche, still recovering from my birthday festivities Saturday night. Hashtag Kobe year. I like that, baby. Turn up one time, turn up. Just wanted to say, maybe we can keep Kenny / Mason and trade Mitch. ? Hashtag like it up. That is interesting. I would not trade Mitch personally. I think we're good with him right now. I think, makes sense for me at least to roll with him at the beginning, and then after that we'll see what happens.
Can we get a first round pick?
You think
if we can get a first round or second round pick?
Well, yes, if we're giving up first round picks, that's
QB
different.
Desperate team somehow.
That's different. But
injury happens.
You think would you give up a first round for Mitch? Just we'll start with that.
The team I could see it happening would be the Giants.
They got Daniel Jones.
I know.
And
I'm just talking about injuries or something. Like
they got Daniel.
Dable's got that connection with Mitch.
I forgot. We should have brought up Daniel Jones. He's another one of them young quarterbacks that's still trying to figure out if he can be good or not. Mm-hmm.
How about I seen some stat comparison on Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it?
I did
Daniel
not.
Jones to Josh Allen, their first X amount of starts.
That's fine.
Actually, pretty similar.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
All I'm saying with that is there's still hope for Daniel Jones.
Hey, whatever we got to come up with, that's all. That's cool. I look for productivity and not productivity.
No, but they were just his first 3 years.
No, I'm with you.
Josh Allen's first 2 years
Mm-hmm.
aren't the same as what it was these last 2 years.
I'm with you, man.
And they compared the two, and they were it's actually pretty close.
Yeah, we'll find out, man. We'll find out. Yeah,
I'm not saying Daniel Jones is gonna be Josh Allen.
I never did. Trust me, I'm not worried about Daniel Jones.
There might just be hope for him.
No,
with
Dable
now.
I just always laugh whenever like people bring up these type of like stats to like make you feel better about a person. Oh yeah, man. Hey. First years he was on the same thing as this dude, and it's like, all right. Well, when he takes off and does what that dude has done, then bring them two up in the same capacity. But I do get why people do that, because it's like, hey, it's like an origin. It's like, yo, I know he's struggling right now, but look, this guy before he took off, he was here as well. So I'm with you on the context. It's just for me as a former player, we don't like to spend a lot of time on that because it's such a like results-based business. So it's like, man, I don't care if y'all was the same 3 years ago. This dude is turned into an all-world quarterback. Until he takes that next step, man, save it. He left you, That's just my energy with it. But I do understand like why though. I do 100%.
Sure.
All right, Richard Crutchman, just showing a little love. So salute him.
Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Just here. We're just here as well, man. Salute you. He says, I feel like we keep applying the rookie label to these new kids coming out, and it doesn't apply. If anything, rookies have stepped in and been above the line, unless they're strapped to sucky teams. No, fair enough. I mean, we could make cases either way, and I'm with you on that. I just think that when we talk overall sample sizes from rookies, not outliers, I just think that the numbers will show that a lot of rookies struggle more than likely than coming in here and setting the league on fire, just based on how many rookies come here every year. That's all. But We all got our opinions on that whole thing with the rookies and stuff like that. I'm just a probability guy. I'm a numbers guy. I look at full sample sizes. But everybody's different, and that's fine. All right. Lubo. Which one are you on right now? Are we close to you?
McCartney.
Oh, yeah, we're not close to you just yet. Oh, I actually can see you.
Okay.
We're almost there, Deke. All right. Lubo. He says, people with the hype on Kenny. Okay. People with the hype on Kenny, period. Mitch is balling. Period. You think if Mitch ran a 2-minute drill on a tired defense, he wouldn't have scored? You think if Mitch ran a no-huddle offense on Jacksonville, he wouldn't have scored? You are crazy. Well, part of that, Lubo, that's kind of the energy that I also had in terms of the O-line and how bad they looked and some of the things you could do to combat it. That's what we talked about Kenny, at least in terms of Matt Canada, just calling better plays when Kenny was out there. I love, like I said, the
Canada's
rollout,
confidence is up when
pocket.
Pickett's in there too.
Hey man, however we need to spin
Pickett
it,
factor.
however we need to spin it, you know what I mean? But in that sense, it's like, yeah, I do agree that Mitch did not get the same type of calls or the same type of help from his coaching staff in those things. But I'm glad that he didn't, because we got a chance to see something about Mitch. We got a chance to learn something about Mitch. I didn't know Mitch could do all that. That was good to see though. So that's how I meant with it.
Yeah, he was fine. Good
Absolutely,
mobility,
man. All right, Logan Sampson just joining the upper room. Welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. And we got to spin the block one more time for a new upper room member by the name of Hollywood 930. Welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. And we greatly appreciate you, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, Elijah Boykin. He says, sit Kenny till the O-line is fixed. I don't want to go that far because who knows if the O-line gets fixed this year. Maybe it's another year. Maybe it's like a step, we build it up a little bit this year, build it up a little bit next year. And then we finally got that O-line. I don't necessarily think you got to wait that long for Kenny. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, just get him in a couple weeks at the beginning of the season. It's night and day from what I'm talking about versus like him sitting the whole year until this O-line is fixed. Because I don't know necessarily if Dan Moore isn't going to be able to, handle speed rushers. Where is that fix coming from this year? If Kevin Dotson isn't able to be in that lineup, whether it's health or whatever, and it's Kendrick Green, where is that fix? And that's the part where it's like, yo, you're not going to tell, oh, man, we got to sit this quarterback, sit him. It's like, nah, that's a different conversation. But in terms of the entry of this, the week one part of it is like, yo, we don't necessarily have to just throw him out there to that just yet. Right. I'm not saying he's not capable. It's just, man, if you got one where you feel like he's further along, which in my perspective, I feel like he is, it's like, man, it doesn't hurt to put him out there first for this portion of the year.
Yeah, the fix would be to put in John LeGlue at left guard as opposed to Kendrick Green.
I would agree. But we don't know if they're going to do that because they haven't said it's LeGlue and Dotson competing. They said it was Kendrick Green and Dotson competing. You know how that go, man. We just be here.
Yeah, you have to do something different.
We didn't say that. That's what it is.
If it's at that point in the season, hey, my God.
It's not my choice. If it was my choice, I'm with you. But that's what they said it was as soon as they said it was a competition, what did I tell you when I came here? I said it's only a competition if Dotson allows it to be a competition. Because I don't see how Kendrick Green is a better left guard than he is Kevin Dotson when we said he was undersized as a center. And just by the statistics of every starting guard in the league, Kendrick Green, once again, is the smallest guy at that position. I'm not making this up. It's not a bias. It's not a hater. It just is. Right. Those are some of the facts with it, man. So we shall see, man. Jay Blanche, he says, love the patience and understanding, Master Moats. Oh, no, salute you, man. I have a ton of patience. You know me. I'm a patient guy, man. I got kids. Kids will make you have patience, Deke. You know that? Kids will make you have patience.
I don't.
You like you right now. Don't rush it, baby. Don't rush it. They fun as heck, but boy, you got to be patient with them. Whew, yes, you do. Farron Bradford. He says, I hope Omar. Yo, buddy. I hope Omar got the scouting department identifying offensive line talent. I like the lady. My man say, yo, I don't even care about the O-line coach. Where's Omar? Omar, get your guys on this O-line situation. All right, I can dig it. He says, I hope Omar Khan, Still's new GM, has the scouting department identifying O-line talent. I'm tired of making it work with average Joes. Respectfully, our offensive line just has to be better. No ifs, ands, or buts. First and second pick better be offensive line.
We're already talking about next year's draft. Well, I guess someone already brought it up earlier in the show.
They did. They did.
I mean, it's probably something we're gonna be thinking about. It's probably in the top 3.
They did.
To be fair,
they definitely did. It's preseason is in the conversation. Depending on we'll see how everything plays out. You know, obviously with Devin Bush and even Cam. You know, as he continues to progress through this stage in his career, it's like, we got to see a lot. It's a lot. There's gonna be new information coming on. We're gonna see, you know, what that draft look like. But yeah, right now those guys are definitely they're making a strong case for it, man. All right, Mike Brooks. Shout out to Mike. He says the North has been ruining QBs for years. QBs don't develop while getting hit. Everybody ain't 7. Kenny got a glow though, with the pondering emoji. Does bring up a good point, man. He does
everyone's
have a glow.
talking up 7 now that he's gone, huh? That's a shame. That's a shame.
But it's one of them things where we're just happy that he opened up the door for the new young stud upgrade quarterback, the man, the myth, the Pitt legend.
Why weren't they talking him up when he was here?
Because he wasn't the Pitt legend Heisman finalist. Come on, bro.
That's a shame. That's tough.
Did he win the ACC championship?
We're talking about Pickett now?
I'm talking. Did Ben win the ACC championship coming out?
It don't matter.
Was Ben Roethlisberger a Heisman finalist coming out?
That don't matter when we're talking about Steelers.
Man.
It don't matter.
It's Kenny freaking Pickett we talking about, baby.
I know, and I'm amped
Come
about
on,
having
man.
him.
It's 2 gloves, man. The upgrade. You know how we feel.
Yeah, was the Steelers' #1 quarterback target?
Yeah, absolutely.
They
for a
believe
reason.
he's the guy, and we're seeing him.
Yes.
Show why we drafted him. Basically, in these
they
preseason
told
games.
Ben, don't come back. We got Kenny. Don't come
I'm
back.
not liking any of this. No.
Are you a Kenny lover or are you a Kenny hater? Which one are you?
Supporting Pickett, man. I'm supporting him.
Are you a lover or are you a hater? There's no in between. No support, because support is like, oh, you're giving context. You're too realistic. No. You're either a lover or you're a hater.
I'm on Pickett's side with all this.
So you a lover?
But here's the problem. Whenever you're going to compare him to 7, I'm on 7's side.
Man, you had to put some love for Big Ken, bro. Chill out. All right. Next up, Sean McCartney. Claypool is going to have a great season. He needs to stay on the team, even if it means letting go of Deontay Johnson.
He's probably talking after the contract. Not going to cut Deontay midseason. He's talking after the 2 years.
Okay. I was nervous.
He believes in Claypool.
Okay, fair enough.
Basically, the things we were talking about on having to choose a receiver down the line between Pickens, Claypool, Deontay, Austin.
Fair enough.
He's saying we're going to pick Claypool.
No, fair enough. So it'll be Claypool and Deontay, or Claypool and Pickens versus Deontay and Pickens. Is that down the line?
I'd assume that's what he's talking about.
Fair enough.
Because maybe Calvin Austin takes on more of the Deontay role.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's the one thing you can't necessarily teach is the size and the speed. And
I would agree.
Pickens and Claypool both have it. I guess you go with that. We need to see more
Deontay
productivity
nice though,
out of Claypool. I know,
Deontay
that's what I mean.
Nice though, bro.
Deontay has had more productivity
Deontay's
than Claypool
nice,
up to this point.
Absolutely.
So Claypool's got to prove it on the field.
I'm a Deontay dude. I'll be rolling with Deontay personally.
If you're making that bet right now.
Yes.
Fair.
Farron Bradford, he says,
I'm good. I'm caught up.
Oh.
I can read these if you want.
Yeah. And we almost, man, it's almost 8 o'clock, bro. You know, we didn't give him a lot of extra today, Brad. Come on. We're going to roll through these, and then we out.
I'll try to be efficient.
Let's do it.
Kind of like Pickett in the preseason.
Yeah, let's go, man. The upgrade. You know that.
Do y'all know the zone blocking scheme can work?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we don't have the talent.
Do you think the zone, do you think it could work? I was like, I know it could work, yeah.
We don't have the talent to execute it properly, but I still believe in the power run scheme better suits our identity.
Well, yeah, you also have to remember, too.
Does having Najee not out there affect anything?
That is definitely the one I want to talk about, because to me, Najee is a little bit different playing against him. Hitting Benny Snell, hitting Jalen Warren, Anthony McFarland, those guys are not the same caliber of player as Najee Harris. It's kind of like watching our pass rush with no TJ Watt. You're like, oh, it's decent, it's cool, but it's not TJ. We know when TJ gets out there, the uptick that we feel. So I just personally think, like, when you talk about Najee being back out, I think it's going to help out in a major way. But
JMC, or do you have something else?
I was like JMC. Yeah, you're good. No, because I was just gonna say, I'd also say, whether you're talking zone scheme or zone scheme or man scheme, I do think that we're built more for the power scheme. Just when you talk about like a James Daniels, how he's built, but when you talk about Mason Cole, I think James Daniels and Kevin Dotson are built for man schemes. I think Mason Cole, Kendrick Green, Chooks, and Dan are built for zone schemes. They're not people movers in the sense, but they're athletic. They're, quick in the sense that they can position block you. They can beat you to a spot. And when it's zone, the scheme, the zone blocking scheme is more so you're blocking that area. You know what I mean? But you're trusting on that running back to be reading end of line of scrimmage, D line, so forth. You know what I mean? Race to a point and then cutting it off. Whereas with that power blocking scheme, it's more so you think about James and you think about dots and we're like, yo, they move people at times, right? That's what you're looking for, but that's not really, Chuk's game. That's not really dance. You know what I mean? So It's kind of like that little mix up there. But either way, I think you could still run a combination of both. I just think you got to be a little bit more creative. You got to be a little bit more in tuned with some of the pre-snap stuff. But you can make it work, though.
JMC. I'm super interested to see how next offseason goes with Why are we talking offseason next year?
Because that O-line has scared everybody to death.
As far as draft, panicking. Free agent, and trades, wouldn't be shocked if 2023 Steelers look different.
Tell you,
what is going on here?
That O-line, it freaked everybody out, bro. That O-line, man, it had people thinking like we was on last year. They was like, hold on, bro. Is this Minnesota again? Is this Is this Vegas Raiders again? Is this like what are we watching right here, bro? Yeah, man.
Okay, JMC again says, speaking of rooks, I'm loving Liao. I agree.
Oh, no. He had
so far, huge rotational piece this year and really bright future in the black and gold.
No, I would definitely agree. I thought Liao had a really good game this week. I thought he was kind of like Mark Robinson in the sense, that they just looked more comfortable. They looked in better conditioning. And then after that, I also thought that he also had his first sack, too. I don't know if y'all caught that. He definitely had his first sack, a dope rush. His pass rush still pops out. Now, granted, it was at the end of the game. It was in the fourth quarter, so you got to take that into context. But I also love his effort. There was one play where it was a screen pass. Spillane forces it. He sprints up, forces it back inside. And even though DeMarvin doesn't make the play, DeMarvin is hauling tail on an angle looking like two at high knees, high elbows. You like, bro, big man rolling. If the dude doesn't run out of bounds, he's like 7 yards and cuts out. If he ever tried to keep that going or cut back, DeMarvin probably would have killed him. It would have looked like when Tua hit my man in Cleveland. It would have been one of those.
Right.
So, yeah, I do like that a lot about DeMarvin. Absolutely.
Yeah, could be a stud.
Mm-hmm.
King. I know it's still early, but with what we've seen so far, what we taking first and second round picks next year? Come on.
Bro, we are 2 weeks away from the opener. We're talking about the draft.
Come on.
Bro, we just got done with the draft, man. We can't be going there just yet. All right? We're going to pause on the draft talk. And it's different. I know you said, man, where the heck is Alex Highsmith been? He's been dealing with the rib injury. He'll be back, though. It's more caution right now, right? He had the rib injury, was it a week and a half, 2 weeks ago? So you want to make sure he's as close to healthy or close to 100% healthy as possible. That's why it's no rush on that. But I did want to get you on there.
Damon Brown. If we know Mitch is the starter, you think we may start Pickett for this last preseason game? And shout out Trina, because she is the queen of the podcast.
Facts.
Steph was the queen of the lower room.
This is true. Fair enough. Okay. I like that. And that's good context as well, man.
But Pickett start.
I honestly, I want him to. Me personally, yes. I would love to see him out there. And I just hope that Detroit would put their ones out there in any capacity just so we can see more of Kenny in that. You know, the more you see him, the better you're going to all feel. The better the coach staff will feel. The more they'll trust him. The more he'll learn and ultimately expedite his, development. And then that way, when he get him out there, he can do what he's supposed to do. But, yeah, I would love to see him get the opportunity to start, especially if, you're going to treat this last preseason game like the pseudo fourth preseason game. Absolutely.
All right, Chad jumped. I'm on a fish momentum. I don't know where that is.
Right. Holy cow. This is looking rather daunting, and it is 8:03. So this is what we shall do. I'm going to take pictures.
Okay.
Yes.
Calling it. Starting off the next podcast.
So, because I'm like, otherwise, bro, I don't think we're going to get out of here, man. I'm like, we'll hold 33 minutes. Longer. I'm like, yo, we in here thick. Yeah. And you got to have boundaries, man. That's the one thing I learned, man. You know the rapper Eminem. You heard of him, right? Slim Shady.
Yeah.
They say he has this rule where he's always off work at a certain time. Even if he's in the middle of a course, they say, man, when it hits, he's like, nah, bro, I got to go, man. So I understand that. And that's something that I've been trying to do. I've been trying to have more work-life balance to keep all parties involved, both on camera and behind the scenes, all on one accord. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, I hope each and every one of y'all rode with us and appreciated this show because we appreciate the heck out of y'all. More importantly, man, we back on Wednesday. All right. definitely want to tune back in, and we'll finish up with some of these supers that we left on the table here. Also, the phone lines will be open because we still want to hear from you about this. And we'll obviously have that third show. I think it's Thursday or Friday. I got to check. But either way, we definitely got y'all. So salute each and every one of y'all, man. Hope y'all have enjoyed yourselves. And Deke, you know we hit them with, right? You know that usual. Until next time, baby.
Yeah. Peace.